All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, a place where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join these live events, streams, real-world events, share and inspire to create art together every single day. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Reinventing the Tattoo community, it's a free community that can be found in your app store on Apple or Google Play, and right there at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. So if you do go to that website, you'll see all of our events, just like today's tattoo collecting podcast right there. We're also beaming out on YouTube, Facebook, all over the place. So if you're looking for something fun to do on Thursdays at 12 noon, this is a place to go. So we also have the community here that we'll highlight for you guys. You can catch all of our upcoming events. Tonight is a special event that we just started. We have our apprentice exercises with Kyrie Franklin. Tomorrow, we're going to highlight nutrition and fitness for tattoo artists. So that will be a really fun conversation with Coach Zach Turner. Also coming up next Tuesday, the academics out there, we are speaking with Laura Sizer about the philosophy of tattooing. Now, Laura has been very, very active. She's written a lot of academic level stuff that I've linked here in the link for her. That will really blow your mind. She's definitely an advocate for the art of tattooing. So if you want to check her out, again, community.reinventingthetattoo.com. Otherwise, if you are also new to the community, we're beaming out special shows every single week. Jason Lesser, every Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, has a Reinventing Drawing Group. Also, Jake Meeks from our affiliate Fireside Tattoo Network streams out every single Monday morning at 9 a.m. Bring your design for the week. You can critique, you can draw art together, anything like that. It's a group experience and super fun. You probably want to come back every single week. We also have our subscriber exercises on Monday nights, which are really fun for those who want to work and perfect certain areas of their drawing or painting or art skills with Guy Aitchison. So it's a small group. They get together through Zoom. It's really easy to join. If you're afraid, don't be. But if you are, Kyrie's group on Thursday evenings is great for beginners. Other than that, we will highlight our sponsors because, like I've been saying, that keyword free, it's all thanks to those guys. We've got DLize Pro. We've also got Raw Pigments and Inkjet Stencils. All of those are linked in the app as well. Now, I said today's episode number 38, but the number is not as special as our special guests. So today we've got Nathan Marty, an artist I followed for quite a bit. Another artist that has blasted Jordan's chest, which I'm sure he's going to show you guys today. He's a tattoo artist based in Columbus, Ohio. He specializes in black and gray, dark, organic art. He's a heavy collector as well with biomech tattoos. I'm sure we'll check those out. And his collections includes artists like Guy Aitchison, Adam France, Phil Robertson, and more. If you want to check out Nathan, he co-owns a studio in Columbus called Hollow Earth. Other than that, you guys, happy to see you here. What's going on? Jordan?
Hey, Lauren. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Welcome, everybody, to the Tattoo Collecting Podcast.
Happy Thursday.
Happy to be here.
We made it. We made it.
Thank you, Nathan, for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
It's been
having
forever
me.
since we've gotten to hang out and like do anything social, but like the world stopped and we all were in our own lanes. So
Starting to open back up now.
today we also have a peanut gallery with us, our buddy Sam Campbell. You'll probably see him a lot. He's one of our favorite collectors as well. And then we've got Ben Thomas with us again.
Yeah, we got a full studio today.
Yeah.
Packed house. Packed house.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good.
Ben, for coming on.
Not a problem.
It was
Love
a
you guys.
pleasant surprise. I didn't know.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yes, Ben's coming.
It's always at the whim if I can escape from work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just realized I didn't send Todd the link.
Ben, our main correspondent.
I'm a main correspondent. I got upgraded again.
Upgraded again
Last
and
week
again.
I was just a hanger on, then I was a correspondent, and now I'm a main correspondent.
Making your way up. Yes, Sean.
Moving on up.
So what's new in the world of tattooing with you guys this week?
Well, lots. Kind of. I don't know. There's been some fun things for sure this week, but also wanted to talk about, well, since we got Nathan on here, you got your brand new studio, Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where's that located?
It's on 4th Street, actually the corner of 4th and 1st. And it's kind of like 3 blocks down from the old Red Tree. If you guys remember that spot.
Never been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's brand new. The building's new. We're the first tenants in there.
So definitely not haunted.
Not haunted, no, unless it was on like an Indian burial ground beforehand, maybe.
Can't see
I don't
the
know.
land.
It's Ohio, so who knows? But Yeah, no, it's co-owned by myself and Rusty Dornhecker, and we're just moving along, man.
Yeah, and just for anyone who doesn't know, you and Rusty, how long have you worked for Red Tree? Because both of you guys used to work for Red Tree. You were there for how long?
I started there at the beginning of 2016.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's where I first met you when we did my chess piece.
yeah,
last,
it was like
2
right at
days.
the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's hard to think that was 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Like that seems like 30 years ago at this point.
It does.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
a lot has happened.
Yeah. The world
That is
has
wild.
Changed.
Mm-hmm.
We're real pumped on your new studio, man. I definitely, once it's open to public and stuff, want to come check it out.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're waiting for too.
Oh,
Is like
it's not really open to the public yet?
well, it's still a private studio, but like we haven't had a grand opening yet.
Yeah,
So we're just
gotcha.
kind of waiting for things to calm down and people are comfortable to come out and be in a social setting, with or without mask, whatever people are comfortable with. And then we'll probably have some sort of grand opening at some point, probably sometime this summer, I'm assuming.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, everyone's got to come out.
I'm
I'm
super
not
excited.
asking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not asking.
I will
tell me.
I will 100% be there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
excited.
just watching your guys' two styles, I admire both of your work so much. And
Thank
to
you.
see you guys like come together is blowing my mind.
Thank you.
Like so much solid work's gonna get kicked out of that shop. It's gonna be envious.
I
You guys are
appreciate it.
coming out strong. Both of your guys' portfolios are to the point where it's insane just to flip through the pages. So I can't wait to see what your creative minds together are gonna pull out, because that's what I'm excited about. Just I love when two good artists get together. And I don't want to say battle, that's not the right words, but when they can creatively feed off of each other. And like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that was cool, but watch this.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
pull out the next bag of tricks and the next bag of tricks and just feed each other. You guys have that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And I am super excited to watch what comes out from both of you. Like, it's just, I'm just a collector. I got nothing in it. But to see the level of art that's going to come out from you guys, I am so excited for it. So excited for it.
We've got a couple of plans too to maybe even do some collaborations down the road. We've talked about it. It's just been like loose discussion, but right now we're talking about Boney, who's another artist at Hollow Earth.
Is it just
Rusty.
the three of you?
There's four of us. Caleb Ledley is also
Okay.
a part of the group now. He came over from Memento.
Nice. You
Um,
know what? I do remember seeing that now, and I totally forgot that
Yeah.
he joined you guys.
He just started in the beginning of May. So
Nice.
like it's super fresh, but
Mhm.
awesome dude.
Nice.
But the three of us, Rusty, Boney, and myself, want to do a collab together. There's probably going to be some talk down the road too about maybe all four of us.
Mhm.
Also, Caleb and I have collabed before in the past and have more set up for the future. So
Nice.
just like everyone feeding off each other that way and like
Mhm.
collaboration settings is going to be fun.
Isn't it nice and magic when you can get? I mean, I feel like at Red Tree we experienced this, but it's just nice when you can get a studio full of people together and like rather than like I don't even want to call it like a healthy competition. It's more like, hey, look at this new trick I learned.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
let me show you this new trick I learned. Like
Yeah.
there's this like when everybody has this drive to push one another forward, like yes, we want to outdo each other, but we want to
Mutual
do that
excitement.
every single day. And
Yeah.
I should know, like for instance, when you and I were working next to each other, it'd be like, whether you want to call it competition or not, we're both trying to do the very best that we can do. And
Yeah.
like the tattoo I do tomorrow should be better than the tattoo that either one of us do today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All art is influenced from somewhere.
Mhm.
It can be a sidewalk chalk painting. It could be somebody sitting next to you doing something amazing. And it's when you have that much influence into what you create from all different angles. That mindset to me is just amazing. I love watching people's art grow, and just
Mhm.
that community aspect of it just blows my mind.
There's like the community
Just
aspect,
jealous.
and then there's also just the collaborative creative energy. Even if we're not working on projects together, just
You're
that
s-
collaborative energy in the same space. Like,
still learning from each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
Constantly.
like, oh,
Love
I
it.
see what you did there. Noted. That
Mhm.
means
Right.
like, oh, I'm gonna steal that and do that
Yeah.
every single day
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
now on.
Yeah.
But in
Like every
in
time.
a super huge solid room of artists that are all amazing, the tricks that you guys pick up from each other
Mhm.
are going to be nuts.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely. I definitely, just from our chess piece and stuff and just hanging out with you, I feel like I pulled, being able to walk in your room was so awesome. Same with every other tattoo artists that we work with at Red Tree. It's so awesome. Every day I feel like I'm a better artist because I'm walking around with literally like, you know,
Every day's
amazing
school.
artists. You know, it's just
100%.
who we're surrounded, you know, who we surround ourselves with now.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, super special thing.
Yeah. Especially also when you get tattooed, you know, I feel like I learn a lot that way too.
Mhm.
Getting to go to whoever you want to collect from and then experience that and pretty much pick up whatever you can. If they're willing to share, that's awesome too.
Mhm.
And then just see how they work, you know, whether it's like your style or not like your style, but it's
Right.
a great way to learn and expand.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the different ways. Like that's what I love seeing. It's just like, oh, you do that different way. But you're maybe even like if it's like, oh, you're achieving the same result, but you're like, I see how you did that.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I love that a lot. I feel like every day, especially like Keith, I always like going to Keith's room and I'm looking at how he's like putting in his black and gray. I'm like, oh God, that's so smooth. And I'm just
So
watching
smooth.
him just like
Yeah.
whip that out. I'm like, God, I love that. So like whenever I look at black and gray, or whenever I'm working on black and gray, I'm always like trying to be a little bit smoother with it and stuff. And just
Mhm.
like, you know, just that little thing, because I'm like, I see how we did that.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like, I'm trying to achieve something like that.
Mhm.
So it's cool seeing, I don't know.
Growth.
Because then if I go to like Dante, there's also like, he's got his way of putting in black, you know, and you got your way of putting in black, and seeing like literally everyone's got their different way and their different, I don't know, their different structure for how they want to structure their,
For
even
sure.
just like a black work tattoo.
Yeah. And I feel like it changes too. Like each time I pick something new up, some little piece of information, I'm like, I'm gonna try this for a while, and then it might evolve. So like my whole process is
Right.
kind of like developed around that thing now.
Mhm.
I feel like that's
And it
meaningful
changes.
so much at Red Tree because of that, seeing so many different people do awesome things, that it's like, I'm always trying these new things.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it works, it works. If it's, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, that worked definitely. And put that in the back of my arsenal.
Watching all you guys just make me feel lazy because I still can't draw stick people.
Ben, we're gonna get you tattooing yet.
Yeah, okay.
One of these days, he's gonna be like, "Fawn, today's the day,"
We're
and I'm gonna be
tattooing a
like, "All
snake.
right."
Hey,
So
you guys, you can totally have him join tonight with Kyrie. She's seriously starting from like that very, very beginning stage. It's super comfortable because I don't know, just thought I'd throw that in there. Seriously, check it out.
What
I
is
think
it?
it's
starting from zero.
What is it?
Starting from
Yeah,
zeros.
starting like an apprentice drawing group type thing, apprentice exercises. It's last week I watched and I felt super I don't know, I thought it was awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
So
There you go, Ben.
Hey, perfect.
Yeah.
go.
I
Tonight's the
think
night.
Fawn has more of a will for me to tattoo than I do.
Well, I
don't
remember
know.
when you wanted to back at Body Language.
yeah, that
you
was
were doing it.
that's part of the reason
I feel
why I'm
like-
like, hey, I probably shouldn't do this for a living, because I mean, my job was to draw. They said, here, draw this rose 5,000 times. And I went, yeah, yes, sir. And I drew that rose 5,000 times. And then they took away my stencil and said, draw that rose. And it kind of looked like a circle when I was done. So like I envy the time it takes to hone your guys' craft, because I've tried it.
Yeah.
I tried to do it, and it was one of those things. It's like, I'm not this dedicated to anything. Let me throw that out there. I don't. I love when people are like, "Oh, you guys are just drawing," and it's like, go ahead, try it.
It is
Try it.
totally different.
Think of
than
the
drawing.
simplest picture you
For
can
sure.
think of.
It's
and
not the
draw
same.
it. No, I just meant most people can't even draw. That's the base of this.
Well,
So like,
but you first need to be able to draw
Right,
before
right.
you try to draw on
Yeah,
something that is
yeah.
not like drawing.
that was my favorite thing at the front desk. Oh, you guys are just drawing pictures. Like, yeah, that's what they're doing.
I mean, we are.
So
Just.
It's easy, right? It doesn't really
Just.
take any, very little
That's
mental
why you
energy.
came to us. 'cause
so
it's
technically,
just.
the two of you go back further than anybody else in the room. How long have you
Oh,
guys known one
Nate
another?
Doggy and I know a long time.
Oh, well, it was
Nate Doggy.
Nate Doggy.
That's what it was. Body Language, I started at
Regulators.
2013.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whoa.
That was swinging dick days at me.
Yeah.
Like,
That was good time.
that was a lot of
Who
fun. there.
all was at Body Language in those days?
It was-
Only a few Columbus heavy hitters.
Oh, just a few.
It was Jamie
Jamie
Hickey,
Amazing tattoo.
Ryan Maynard. He was piercing at the
He's a
time.
piercer. And Ryan will pierce anything. You whip it out. He's like, yeah, I'll poke a hole in it.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll poke a hole in
he,
it.
was,
Yeah.
he was really, really, really good at what he did.
Yeah, he learned a tattoo as well there.
Mhm.
Love Ryan. Davey Casey was working there. Denny Michaels. David Boggins. And then,
Rich and Kevin had just left.
yeah, that's who I replaced.
Right.
And then Andrew was apprenticing under Ryan for piercing for a while. And I think that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad. Oh my God.
Oh, Chad Patty.
I love Chad.
I love Patsy.
Yeah.
That shop was so much fun.
We had a lot of fun.
So much fun. It was a carnival. Like you never knew what to expect when you went there.
No.
It's a good time. Good time.
Yeah, that was especially Ryan when he was apprenticing Andrew. I don't remember what songs he made that kid come in and sing, but like that
He's
would
like,
be
you messed up. Go home and learn Careless Whispers, first and second verse, and come in and sing it to me in the morning.
yeah.
That's great.
Everyone would just like stand there and watch him sing first thing in the morning.
It
Like,
was beautiful.
That's so funny.
Coffee and serenades.
yeah.
Speaking of serenades,
Mm.
aren't you a little bit of a musician too?
You're a serenader?
He'll deny it.
Yeah. I used to play guitar.
He's like, I used to pick it up every now and then.
I used to, what he's saying is I used to be a traveling musician that my job was to ride in a van with a bunch of other dudes and play music at festivals.
I just played every now and then.
Well, I mean,
I just picked it up
He
here and
wasn't
there.
just a local concert musician with his buddies in the garage. He was full swing it. And he's very humble, and I'm going to not let him brush it under the rug because their music was amazing.
Well, for it to be a job, you have to get paid, right?
Oh, no. Sorry, wrong word. Passion?
There's more to life than money, man.
Yeah.
A lot of traveling is
I will
breaking
be
even.
homeless if I'm happy.
A lot of traveling is breaking even.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the money went, just right back to the van, gas, new
Right.
tires.
Yeah.
I mean, we blew 4 tires in like 6 hours once.
What?
Are you serious?
Yeah, some of them were the same tires because we couldn't afford brand new tires, so we'd buy the cheap used ones. And it was like somewhere in Texas, I think. So middle of like summer. I don't know if it was the heat or what, but 4 tires in one day.
Should have just bought the $250 one and been done with it.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On an in-town vehicle, I'll neglect it. But like my van that like I drive regularly, like that sucker, I try to keep like ready to roll.
Mm-hmm. That's
Crucial.
roll.
Like
Yeah.
I keep good tires on it where like I might put cheap whatever, get me by on just like in town back and forth. But when it's like, well, let's go to Colorado tomorrow.
Right. Gotta be ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta gas her up. Let's go.
Yep.
Like I even like I've talked about this before. I think this means I might be growing up a little bit, but I even try to stay like updated on my oil changes on my van. Sam actually was a mechanic in the past for me. He used to hang out at my old studio all the time. It was just like one of the regulars. We talked about teaching him how to tattoo. He's done a handful of them, but he can tell you that I was a little hard on vehicles in the past and neglected things that they needed. But you know what? That egg in the radiator.
Lasted mine.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Egg
Yeah,
Drop
it
it
did.
in the radiator, it'll seal the crack because it cooks. Cooks the bottom of the inside.
That works?
Yeah.
I'm talking like 70,000 miles. It works.
What?
After Sam dropped the egg in this radiator, my sister and her husband took my van, my old van, my previous van, all the way to Maine from Ohio, stayed in it for 10 days. It was a 14-day trip, but they actually stayed in it 10 of the days with their children. And like countless trips back and forth between Ohio and the Dirty Mitten.
Talking about risking
Egg.
it. You got an extra
Wow.
egg? Just keep one in
Yeah.
the center console. You know?
I mean, to be fair, I think I only paid $1,200 for it. So it was one of those like, I'm going to drive it till it's dead and then I'll get a nicer one. And I did. And
Money well spent.
we put a lot of miles on that van. I called it Rusty. Actually, on where the Ford emblem used to be on the back of it, it had fallen off. So
Oh, nice.
I took one of Rusty's stickers. You know, he has
Yeah,
the ones that were
yeah.
oval that say Rusty on
Yeah.
it. So that
Branded.
officially became
Perfect.
the van name.
Does he know that?
I don't know.
Probably
I
not.
don't know. Actually, I wonder how he'd feel about that. He'd probably feel flattered, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Creepy pedophile van named after you? Well, that's what I called it too, is
I
the
love that.
pedophile van, because it was way
Flattered is the
creepier.
word you came up with. You'd be flat.
It was way creepier than the van I drive now, to be fair.
Yeah. Now, would you use the van that you have now as like a bug out van?
Oh, I totally could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have it super prepared, and if shit hits the fan, just fucking
I
get
mean,
in and go.
Any given time, I don't think I have any water in it right now, but any given time I like to keep like pillows and blankets in it and like just a few snacks, essentials. Here's the thing. I might not be the one that's stranded, but I could pass somebody else who's stranded, or I could pass somebody else who like needs help right now. So
True.
if you've got a big enough vehicle, even if you've got a small vehicle, you should always keep like an extra blanket in it just in case, just because
Mhm.
you never know when you
Oh,
might
yeah.
need a blanket. Or you could be cruising along and be like, look at this beach, let's stop.
Look at this beach.
I got a blanket.
Definitely an advocate of keeping a blanket in the car.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like I've always got a few survival things in there, and then just me being me, I always try to keep an extra pair of tennis shoes because I could go like hiking and get my shoes soaking wet, or
That's smart.
me being
Yeah.
messy, I never know. I always try to keep it extra. And like if I'm having a flip-flop day and then somebody's like, hey Fawn, come help me weld, and I'll be like, oh, I got the wrong shoes on for this.
But in my van,
Work truck, you can find anything. In my car, there's not even change in the cup holder. Like the car is empty.
A few weeks ago, Derb was doing something with one of the film crew. You know how he's always doing something with some film crew or some weird project somewhere.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
were doing something at the shop and they needed somebody extra. And I was in the middle of an appointment. They're like, we need one more person. And I was like, I do have my funeral clothes in the van. But I was like, no. I'm in the middle of an appointment. I can't end today. But it was like that quick thought of like,
Oh,
I could go put on all black and make
Yeah.
myself like presentable in about 5 minutes. But I didn't.
I guess my mindset is I've roughed it through a lot of shit. So like, we'll figure it out. I got a credit card and a cell phone. Like,
yeah.
So
we'll figure it out.
my van may be old. It's I think it's
Not
a
opposed to
03. It's an old van now. My van's 18 years old now.
You can
But
always
anyways,
plug
I
in.
still keep full coverage on it. I keep like all the bells and whistles with roadside assistance, rental vehicle. Like if I break down on the road, I'm going to get a rental vehicle. I'm going to get a hotel. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to be taken care of. So that's another reason where it's really easy for me to just get up and go. Like it's old, but if I do happen to break down and it's not something I can just get fixed on the fly, I'm still okay because I've got good insurance. So there's
Word.
that.
Yeah.
As much as I hate insurance and feel like it's a tax, as I get older, it gets so much cheaper to have good insurance. Like I pay less for all the bells and whistles now than I did like 6 years ago for like the bare minimum. Like this is all I can afford with my car payment and this,
Yeah.
that, and the third.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, well, it's paid off. I might as well just keep full coverage on it because like, why not?
The fleet of vehicles that I own now in my late 30s, insurance is the same price as my 2002 Hyundai Accent
With different colored
in
doors.
2002. Like, my insurance was as much as the car payment, and it was a piece of shit car. Scam.
It's a nice thing about getting older.
Yeah.
Tattooed or not, we get good
Yeah,
insurance.
we get good insurance rates. Like, wait, you're a guy over 35? You don't care anymore. Go ahead. Wreck whatever you want.
I feel like 30 was the huge break for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my insurance just like
It was
it went from like what I would pay for like 6 months to like, oh, I'm covered for the entire year
my
for
insurance
both
agent
vehicles.
called me
I'm about
after
to-
my
I'm about to
25th
find out.
birthday and was literally
Getting
like,
close.
it's your lucky day. I'm about to save you so much money. And they dropped like $150 off of my monthly payment. I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, I've got like 6 vehicles.
Yeah.
So like, even still, I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Man, I'll take it.
Growing up. So,
Right.
anyways, the talk of Nathan being a musician turned to vehicles.
Being
Oh,
alone.
that's how we got there.
Yeah.
I was like, where do we?
What it's
How did we
like
get
to live
here?
on the road. Well, what kind of vehicle are you living in? It's a big variable.
Oh, Nathan. Okay,
So how
Tattoo-
long did you travel? Like, being a musician?
it's okay.
I mean, on and off for a few years. So like we would go out for anywhere between like a week to 2 months, and we would eventually circle back home, regroup, and then just go back out again.
Okay.
But I would say the first tour was the roughest because we were young, all underage, 17. So we had to have a chaperone.
Ooh.
And it was our-
Who was your chaperone?
Don DiBiase. He was our music producer at the time, and
Okay.
he was probably a bigger kid than any of us. So like we were like, yeah, he can come on the road with us, absolutely. Like he's not gonna care what we do. So, but I think we did the East Coast side first. We went down and we were on a tour package with a couple other bands. And so we would all just like caravan it up and down the East Coast. And then when we made it back to Ohio, we were broke. And we're like, our options are end the tour here for us because we don't have enough money to go out, or leave our van and trailer here, bunk up with the other band in their church van and trailer, and then go to the West Coast and back. So now we're talking 12 people, 13 people in a van from Ohio to the West Coast.
That's
all
a
the way
lot.
Back around.
It's a lot of personality conflicts all day.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
a lot of farts. So it's a lot of pee in bottles.
Yeah.
Like, because that many people having to pee, you just can't, you don't have the time to stop.
Can't just
Mhm.
keep stopping.
No,
for
we've
everyone
got a
to pee, yeah.
deadline. We've got to be somewhere at a certain time. So it's
Mhm.
like, here's the bottle, bud. But yeah, it was fun. We learned a lot.
Yeah. That's
Fun
awesome.
ish.
Glad you
Learned
did
a
it
lot.
young, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's no way I'd do it now unless it was like
How many years?
Tour bus.
How long were you doing that?
touring.
Yeah,
It was like 3-4 years,
3-4
something like
years.
that. Yeah.
that's awesome, man.
But
how long?
The
have you-
band was like 8 years long. Like we started young. We were in 8th grade. We played our first show, the talent show. And then it just kind of spiraled out of control. We were practicing every week. Got our record deal by like 11th grade. We signed to Metal Blade Records and then put out our first debut album internationally right as we graduated high school, and then just hit the road and we were gone.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. I can't
That's
imagine
so
that
awesome.
kind of slingshot when I was that much of a baby.
I mean, and Metal Blade's no joke. They're not they're not a baby label. So they
No,
probably
we were
put you
stoked.
right to work.
Yeah, I mean, we were so all the bands that they had signed that were on the label at the time, like we looked up to. So like we were super stoked as kids too.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be rock stars. We don't need school. I'm pretty sure my drummer went to school for his senior year, total of like 12 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't need it. He's a genius. He's like, I don't need this. I don't need what's in this books. I got it. So he just showed up at the end to like pass all his tests and then just dipped.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish my brain worked that way.
Me too. Man, me too. But yeah, it was fun.
So did you start tattooing right after music, or did you have a buffer job? Did you have a, oh shit, I need to pay some bills, how are we going to figure this out moment?
Yeah, I had buffers. I tried school, tried college. Wasn't for me. So I think I dropped out after like the first semester. Then I just got some odd jobs, you know, factory jobs, warehouse jobs. Worked at a restaurant for a while. That was like my first job, the restaurant was. And then I was able to hold that job down through the whole touring and band thing because they just, yeah, of course you come
Yeah,
back. You
it's
know
a
how to
restaurant.
do everything. Yeah, why wouldn't we hire you? And then I would say tattooing started probably around 2009. I kind of started to dabble in it. I was dormant with a buddy of mine, and he's just kind of like, yeah, man, whatever you want to tattoo on me, bro, you can tattoo on me. And so we just spend all night instead of studying for the test, just trying to do this koi fish, you know.
you ever talk to him?
It's
Is you
been-
in touch with
it's
him?
been a long time.
How cool would it be to see those?
Not cool at all.
I always like looking back at people's early stuff like, okay, yep, there was a
Yeah.
journey and it started here.
I've got a buddy of mine. I just tattooed him last Sunday. His name's Davey. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and he's got some of my like first 5. And it's pretty bad. I mean, he loves them, and bless his heart, like he'll rock those tattoos till the day he dies and hype me up every time he talks to somebody. But as like a thank you for that, I'm tattooing his entire back now. Homie hookup, just like
Yeah.
totally free. Like you
Hell
get
yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
And, so we've
if you're
been
gonna
chipping away
say
at
good
that.
things, point here.
Yeah. So you can
That's
mention the
awesome.
arm, but like then end it with the back. You know, like
Mhm.
flip the shirt up. Like also
By the way,
more recent.
yeah, Newark. That's right.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's a giant woolly mammoth. It's
Nice.
got like kind of like a morph, like scenic mountainscape with trees and stuff. So
Nice.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds super dope.
yeah, it's fun.
Good deal. Good deal. That makes up for the
Starter
Experimentals.
pieces. Starter piece.
the
The warm-ups.
Is this
The
for me?
warm-ups.
Is this for me?
Yeah.
Is this for me? Makes up for it. So
Nice.
speaking of back pieces, you got like this little thing that Adam and Guy did together on your back.
Yeah,
This
it's
little
a
thing.
real small one. It's a collaboration. Took them 2 days. So basically,
It
2 days.
It really took 2 days to do all of that.
yeah, I went in with 0 back tattoo
Holy
the first
No way.
time, and then it was Adam France and Guy Aitchison for 2 consecutive days. And I'm pretty sure there's an internet video on YouTube.
The time lapse.
It's not a time lapse. It's like
Oh, you the whole stream.
it's kind of like a stream. They're just talking amongst
Mhm.
themselves and just talking about the process and whatnot. And then there's like a couple cutaways and stuff like that. I looked it up. It's still there on the internet. So, but yeah, after 2 days, it went from top of my neck down to like I'd say halfway to my butt cheeks. And full color, bioorganic. Kind of looks like a brain synapse, like
Mhm.
one of those like macro photos of a brain synapse or something. But yeah, it was
That's awesome.
2 days of that.
Sounds like a
Could you want to
religious
show it off to the
experience.
camera? This one right here is
Oh,
right on you.
actually, I will grab that camera and we'll put Ben in charge of being cameraman.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
do it.
All right.
And the audio stops as we all move
It's
around.
okay. It's all right. It's all right. Here we go. Loose.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ben's way better at this than me.
Me telling that shit. Is it already running?
Wait till he's on it before you flip
Oh.
the screen. Crazy. There we go.
Just a little back piece.
Excellent camera work, Ben.
Quite. Thank you.
Nice and smooth. I forget how just glowy that middle epic piece really is.
Right.
I don't know what you call that. Epic,
Think so.
epicness, an epicness form. Now, are you guys finished with this or
No, I'm probably gonna do another 2 days.
nice?
Yeah, that's so dope.
Yeah, we were scheduling it right before everything shut down.
That's insane.
While Ben's got the camera on you, do you want to show off some of your other work and talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Show me your tatties, bro.
So, left arm. That's Adam France.
Now, when you've already had this when I met you, so when did you guys start this and how long did it take?
I think we started this 2012, and I would see him maybe
Look at
once
how
a
deep
month.
that elbow is.
That's
Yeah,
why I
great.
stopped and let it really focus there. Because it'll pull you all the way in. It's crazy to me just the highlight work on this, just how it just gives everything such depth.
Now, how much input with this idea? How much of this input was you, or how much of it was you just saying do whatever you want?
It was whatever he wanted.
Nice.
I had 0 input.
Zero.
I told him it was cool.
Did you and Adam already know each other ahead of time?
Kind of, yeah. At that time, like I had been down at Red Tree to get my right arm done by Adrian, and that's when I met Adam. Phil Robertson is the guy who did my chest collab.
I love all the green. I love how like one side's green robotic and the other side's green organic, but I love like,
The warmness of the chest
Mhm.
against that as well.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the way those colors wear on you naturally, I've always liked.
Super cohesive.
What's the last piece that you've gotten done?
I think I just had work done on my chest with Adam. Before that, it was just Phil working. Oh, it's not done, but my little weed nug. from
Oh,
Phil.
nice.
Hey.
I just got to read that.
Hey.
Who did your weed nug tattoo, Ben?
Been right.
Nice.
I love that weed nug.
Yeah,
That's
I'm-
awesome.
I gotta get back in there. I think we're gonna plan something for September.
Yeah.
We had Mindy on as a guest a few months ago.
Nice.
I need to just take a trip up there and just hang out and chill with them.
yeah, I love hanging out with those two. They're a lot of fun.
There you go. Benjamin.
Yeah, it works awesome, man. That back piece.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
small.
I think that was the piece. When I seen your back, that was the piece that I knew,
Oh, you know
like,
what?
guy's
Before I
going to be
put this
doing
away,
my
do you want to
piece.
show him Gunner's piece on your leg?
Oh yeah,
'Cause
So-
that's a pretty awesome piece for, and it's a little bit different than Gunner's
It
typical
is.
work.
So Gunner was reaching out at the time and just looking to do some black and gray work. And I love the idea of collecting from Gunner and like letting him just toy around with like a different style and just do whatever he wanted. So
That's so dope.
he asked for a little bit of guidance, so we went with like a dinosaur. And I said just like gooey tar pit dinosaur skull. And that's what he did.
That screams gooey tar pit dinosaur.
I think he nailed it.
That is awesome.
That was like 9
All that
hours of
little
session.
tiny texture.
I always like that profile from the front too, like from the front of your shin.
Yeah.
You're gonna take this camera and go off.
Yep, I'll take the camera.
So dope.
Yeah. It's just it's a unique perspective, and when you actually catch it's right in your face. I've always loved that angle.
Thank you.
I think that's the first time. Is that the first time you've done live tattoo views on tattoo collecting?
Probably that successfully and visibly.
That's
Thanks, Ben.
not what I was after.
Teamwork.
That's definitely not what I was after. I just figured that'd be a cool aspect of the show to show collections
Yeah, no,
of the
that's
collectors
Yeah.
that are here to talk about their collections.
that's one
That's
of the
right.
goals. We just gotta get a little bit better
Yeah.
at like jumping to the appropriate camera at the right time,
That's
and
right.
we're getting it.
Mhm.
Playing producer and running our mountains at the same time is harder than we thought it would be. I thought I was good at multitasking. This podcast has proven that I am not.
You know the
Yep.
the continual
Yeah, it
flow of
truly has
blunts might have something to do.
I
with
feel like the continual flow of blunts is the only thing that helps me like keep it together.
Yeah, right.
And
No
it's-
fucking
that.
kidding.
And this is together. You should hear us when we ramble.
Oh man, that gets bad. That gets crazy. If you heard the basement talks,
Oh no, we don't talk about that.
I mean, we could. They're not like inappropriate. They're
No,
just
no,
like
they're just-
squirrel, squirrel,
What?
squirrel. And I'll bring something up and Ben will be like, well, how did you even, or like his wife Emily will be like, how did we get on that? And then I'll like trace it back to where my brain derailed. And
Yeah.
A half hour ago, we mentioned a radiator.
Circle back.
so how were your egg sandwiches at Panera this morning?
Well, I had to get ciabatta instead of brioche because they were out of brioche.
Ciabatta's trash, bro. I'm sorry to eat that floury mess.
It was actually really good.
Oh,
It was really good.
I'm happy you're happy though.
I was happy for Nathan though. He got this brioche.
I got
got
the
some
brioche.
brioche.
I got the last
You're-
one.
Can you flick them off after you ordered it? Like, I'm eating brioche.
No, it was good though. It was definitely good.
Panera is hospital food. Yeah, never. I worked there for a really long time when I was younger. It was a great,
TJ's is down.
great second job.
TJ's is down.
But yeah, they turned into hospital food. I heard TJ's was down, man.
We
That's,
usually go
was last
to
resort.
TJ's Country Place. It just happens to be, and I mean this in the very best way, my
That's what I-
favorite white trash breakfast spot.
yeah, everything
It's
you
just like down home, greasy, but their coffee's good. If you happen to want fruit or something like that, it's good too.
Mm-hmm.
want. That's the
like-
thing about breakfast. It can be mediocre if you're nice about it. You know, if the server's going to
It's
come out and
just
smile and take
basic,
care of you and keep
But
your
it's
coffee full,
exactly what you want.
breakfast food can have some variances and be okay.
Yeah,
Eggs, bacon, hash brown.
Just bring
Just
me
all
all
over
the
my
foods
breakfast.
and
Or
we'll just-
pancake.
Just set it down.
Yep.
It's
But
kind of hard to mess up too.
we
Yeah,
go in there
it's
enough
breakfast.
that like they recognize us
As long as it's
now and they
clean.
know we're just gonna be there. And it makes me feel good that you can kind of like watch the waitresses like bicker over whose turn it is to wait on us, but in a good way. Like, oh, you waited on them last week. I
Yeah.
want to wait on them
Should
this
be
week.
my turn.
Yeah.
I want to make money today.
You know, I feel like we're probably pretty fun for them, and we're really easy.
Yeah.
And
We
you know,
we accept
karmically,
what they
we
bring and
take
don't
care of people who
complain.
take care of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There you go. I love the idea of being a regular
I-
somewhere.
Bro, that's why I love the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Not to diss TJ's, but the Waffle House right next to my
Sorry.
house, I'm there a couple times a week.
If we had a Waffle House
Hey, Ben.
close to us, you already know.
We passed him.
We keep skipping Sammy.
I know. We got
Good.
I'm about to build another one.
Kill it. Just kill it. That's all good. I didn't mean to leave you out. Sorry,
Worried
Okay.
about, like,
We leave no friend hanging.
No, it's not
We leave
good.
no one hanging.
But I love the regular. I love to sit down and they know what you want. They know how you expect your food. You don't have to order. Like my daughter grew up in Waffle House. She could walk in there right now and I could leave the room and know she was okay.
She
'cause
knows the servers by name.
Yeah.
all of them.
Even like
She
the
thanks
guys
the
that-
cooks when we leave. Thanks, Mike. Bye.
Oh,
Like we're, and I love it. The food is shit 80% of the time.
Yeah.
But
but they know my name.
they know my name and they smile when I come in the door. I'll give you
Well,
all
the other
money
thing
for
at Waffle House is Ben has his own customized playlist, which is like
that.
him and his
Oh, so this
daughter's
is
favorite
deep.
little
Oh, bro.
jams.
I wasn't
So-
kidding. 2 or 3 times a week. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Lily,
they've got
Lily
their
picks out
playlist.
the jukebox songs and plays it, and yeah, it's a whole theme while we're there.
Nice.
Kind of. It's still Waffle House, but I love that warm, regular feeling that
Mhm.
that I don't have to put up with bullshit because they know who I am.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I like it when people smile when they see me, rather than like that, like, oh, what are we getting into? But like when somebody's like, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know,
my day just got
Yeah,
better.
they're getting used to us there.
there's a huge
They know
theory
us.
behind that.
They know us.
The excited hello. Have you guys
Uh-huh.
ever heard that?
Uh-uh.
So
Sure.
it's okay. So there's a theory that if you enthusiastically greet people, and it's the same people all the time. So like if I saw you every morning, and every morning I was like, Nate, dude, I'm like, how's your night? Like, did you have a good night? Like, honestly communicate and be excited to see somebody.
Mhm.
That builds anticipation for the next time that you see them. And if you do that on a daily basis, it makes people want that interaction, right? So it's not necessarily that you're fluffing them. You're legitimately excited to see someone. And if you do that every single day, and you do that with the people that are around you all the time, and every time you do that, you build anticipation for when you get there. So when you walk in the room, what does everybody do? They're excited. Ben's here.
That's
Yeah,
my
we get to have an
favorite.
exciting conversation because that's the energy he brings every time he walks into the room. So if you do that as a boss, if you are running a business and you are excited to see your employees every time you see them,
Mhm.
it builds loyalty, it builds trust, it builds excitement to be at your job, and your job can be shit. But somebody was excited that you were there and happy to see you that day. So tomorrow, when you need that fulfillment of I'm here, I'm worth something, I need something in my day to be happy for, that one person said, dude, how was your night?
Yeah.
It was good.
It's a huge
Like,
huge difference.
it was
It's hard to fake excitement and not be cheesy. I'm sorry, but you get the idea. No, that's a huge leadership tactic in business.
No, for sure. I
Tactics,
100% agree. I'm right there with you on that one.
It doesn't have to be totally cheesy.
But be enthusiastic
If
be
you
enthusiastic.
Greet people enthusiastically. It builds.
And mean it.
You're gonna
Yeah,
get. You're gonna
that's
get.
the trick.
That's the trick. And
You're,
mean
you're
it.
gonna
So-
get. You're gonna get back the energy that you put out.
So let me ask you about this. So what if, like, hypothetically, you're the kind of person that like walks in the room and you're like, hey, I'm gonna smoke. Who's coming with me?
Same thing.
That
Because
counts?
now when I see you,
That
I'm like,
counts as
let's smoke
enthusiasm?
weed. And if that's the reaction you want from people, if every time we hang out, if that's what we want to do, which is what we do every time we hang out, build that anticipation and build that expectations. When people don't have expectations, or when they do have expectations and those are broken, that's when disappointment happens. So especially in like a group setting,
Mm.
if you build that and then drop it, and that's why people get so upset when people have a little bit of an attitude. It has nothing to do with you. They might just happen to be having a bad day.
Mhm.
But since you have built that expectation of having that whatever relationship with that person, and that's not met,
Then you take it personal, like,
then you
oh,
take
did
it
I do
personal,
something
and why?
wrong? No, they were just having a bad day. Their vibe was off.
Right.
right.
So you got to be on your A game
Yeah, absolutely.
all the time.
That's what I'm saying, bro. No slacking.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, it is. That's why I just don't care.
Nathan's like, I'll just keep being quiet.
That's why I
Yeah.
don't have a business.
I'll just keep
I
like,
gotta reserve the energy. You know, like if I let it all out, like as soon as I walk through the door, then it's like, oh well, now what?
Regroup.
I'm gonna be in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Nobody talk to me.
and then in walks Jordan, like, you hear about aliens? Know about ghosts?
Tried to reach you, but
Right.
your car extended warranty.
Oh
Mm.
man.
So what's the next project you're working on? What's the
Tattoo-wise?
Yeah, what's the next thing you're excited about? Doesn't have to be tattoo-wise, painting-wise, whatever. What's the next thing you're excited about?
Let's see. Tattoo wise, tomorrow I'm working on a back piece on this really rad dude. His name's Eli, and he gets tattooed by a bunch of people in Columbus. He's got stuff from Boney, Nate.
Is he a tattooer?
No,
Okay.
just a collector.
Okay.
And we're doing his back, so it's just like a continuation of this process. And I guess it's an evil, satanic warthog in a cloak, and
Yes!
That's
tendrils and tentacles coming out of like the cloak where his like guts would be, and they're just like fucking sporadic everywhere, just like yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty
Sounds
dope.
disgusting.
Yeah, I'm
That's so
Delightfully
I'm excited.
disgusting.
I like the
I'm
visual.
I'm excited.
Um,
that shit.
Yeah, we're still kind of the beginning stages, so we still got a long way to go. But tomorrow we're going to kick off another 2-day session, and then I think we got another 2 days planned next month or July. So
Hell yeah.
How do you feel about 2-day sessions, both like as a collector and as a tattooer? Share your thoughts.
okay, as a tattooer, I love them because I'm still hyped on the previous day. I'm still totally focused on the design that we're working at. You know, there wasn't like a month-long wait or something before I jump back into something. So I love it. And I can get a lot of work done as long as the client's able to sit. It's great. As a collector, it's nice. You know, like,
You can be used to
we end up
sir.
with tattoos.
you get a lot of work done, and that's nice. But to be honest, like the second day isn't as bad as I anticipated the first time going into it, not
Mhm.
knowing, like super scared, like, oh, the
Yeah.
second day is gonna be way worse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Isn't it
Yeah.
crazy how like
That's how I feel in the second
being
day.
exhausted just allows you to like sit better?
Yeah, like I settled
Just
in
give
way
up.
faster.
Yeah.
And then back team likes to set in a little bit better on that second day.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just gets to be a little bit number.
hmm
We did my back piece, my stencil in 2-day sessions as well, and 2 monster sessions. And it was, like you said, the first day was a lot of anticipation. And I think once you get over that,
Yeah.
you just settle into the chair and don't care.
hmm
Mhm.
Face down, ass up.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, I gotta schedule mine with my next session with Guy. We got 2 more sessions for my
Yeah.
back. Then we're all done with that. But then we got to go down to them booty cheeks. Mm. Then probably around to the stomach. And I wanted to talk to you too about doing some more on my chest.
Chesticles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I was thinking about maybe like
Show us your boobies, Jordan.
so this is this
does
piece
this
right
a lot.
here.
All the time.
Nathan did this
Here, let me
one.
pin this down a little.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe doing something coming down bio-y, but also maybe trying to build like a green glow somewhere that could start to like blend in with like the other stuff that's going on.
Okay. Yeah.
If we'll talk about it
For
like
sure.
consult or something on that.
But
But
on film, you're held to all your words you say today, sir. I hope you know that.
Every word,
No
contractually
backing
bound.
out now.
right.
No, I would be down.
Yeah. I don't know. I love it the way it is. I don't think it needs any more, I think it's so great. I just think it would be dope with like a green glow, like something bright, like everything's behind this.
It's already got that atmosphere kind of feel to the
Mhm.
background. So
Right.
like that wouldn't be hard to add into. Like
Mhm.
keep that kind of atmosphere between the foreground, background, and definitely.
Right. Where it's like kind of,
All right,
I'm like
Jordan.
looking at that up there.
How bad was
glowing
the
off the
blackout
edge.
nipple?
I was staring at that nipple. just
How
now.
bad? I can't stop
Talk to us
staring.
about
at
your
it.
out-
We even
out-of-body
tried to numb it. We had like
Tried to
plastic
numb it. I like
wrap
the way you
sitting
started
on
that.
there, like, and it was a nightmare. For that, like, it only took like 30 seconds, probably to a minute, to like actually get it really black.
That's a long minute.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that was like just like holding my breath, kind of just like out of my body. That was definitely my out of body tattoo experience. Was that?
Okay.
Or just kind of like not 100% like hallucinating out of my body, like psychedelic experience, but like
I got-
just like so just I had to escape myself for a minute.
I've got some chest fillers coming in, and you always debate it. And I think that's enough for me to just be like, no, leave it alone. It can just be there.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. I don't need no
I'm
color.
not looking forward to doing all that. I don't like my chest being done. It didn't feel great at all.
When Davey Casey tattooed my sternum,
Davey Casey tattooed it.
yeah, you watched. It was in your booth. So when you had gone to the other studio for a little while,
Okay.
and you were in that middle room.
Mm-hmm.
It was a smaller booth. I can't remember the name of the studio because don't keep up with shit. But Davey tattooed my sternum, and that was one of those like, nah, bro, just sit on my hips. Just it's cool. Like this sucks.
I remember that.
Out of body.
Yeah.
Like I tried not to be a bitch, and it didn't happen. Like I remember leaving there like, man, I'm a whiny little girl. And then every single person I talked to after that was like, nah, bro, it was just sternum. Like, you made it through. You did all right. Like, but man, that is a tattoo I will like. I can't remember the name of the studio, but I remember every second of that needle.
Everybody in
Davey's-
here has had our sternum tattooed, right? You've got your chest comes down to your sternum or to the bottom of your sternum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have my sternum. You have
How-
my soul right there.
How do you feel that day? Like even
That
as
was
much
rough.
as I was babying you, it
I felt like
sucks.
a little bitch afterwards.
Yeah, I
I think
remember
this
leaving like
area-
these guys aren't even gonna think I'm cool when this
I
is
had a
over.
full blown anxiety attack in
This
that
was
little
the worst
area.
spot right here
Yeah.
that we did for
Mhm.
sure.
Oh, that little solar plexus area?
Yeah.
That little soul button?
Yeah.
Just that little
This was my soul button. It's right here. You can feel
It
it.
was a lot.
Definitely feel it. Soul button.
Soul button.
Right in the middle of the block.
It's that transfer off of the rib.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
It was.
Yep, that's your solar plexus. Your diaphragm's there that controls all your breathing.
Fuck all
I
that.
really think that's where your soul lives.
Well, and
Like your
David
heart
tattoos
is
with a
here, but
needle
your
the size of
soul
my
is like
finger, too, so-
Yeah, his stuff is bold.
Yeah.
Like
I feel that.
he
to get that 14 round liner in there.
yeah. I
Mhm.
know. I was there.
Solar
I remember.
plexus.
why they call it that.
Did you see this guy?
Oh yeah, I remember her.
That's a fucking liner, bro.
Damn.
Liner.
Mhm.
I cried after that too. No, not real tears.
Oh, I love Davey though.
Oh no, I'd go get tattooed by him right now. Like bold holds, bud. It's not the best feeling, but I mean it's bold and holds.
That was one pass. One
Yeah,
hand.
one shot.
Damn.
He didn't do the background, but he did the dog in the hat.
Like the spikes on the collar,
Mhm.
just not even moving.
And just in.
yeah.
Like over my knuckles. I mean,
Hmm.
we did that 6 years ago.
Show it off to the cami.
Uh,
Probably can't see it too well, but if you, the general
There you go.
shape.
Boo. Doggy.
Nani. Dope.
no.
But we did that in Pennsylvania on the way
Hold
to
on.
the
Oh,
New
did
York
you?
convention.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got tattooed by him and then went and got tattooed by Rich the next day and then did 2 days on my back in New York. And it was only one day, but it was a long day. Like we checked into the hotel room, went down to the convention. He sat me on a card table, like a fold out table.
The days
facing the
do
crowd.
seem longer at
and just-
conventions, don't they?
Mhm.
What?
Have you ever
Yeah.
been worked on at a convention?
I have not. No.
The days are definitely longer at a
Yeah.
convention. 5 hours feels like 11.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
11 hours
When you're
feels
getting
like
work done.
700.
distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been worked on
No.
at a convention? No.
No. No.
Sam? No.
Nope. COVID took that away from me.
No.
COVID
Damn it.
took
Damn
that
it,
away
COVID.
from me.
Took it away.
Um,
I'm gonna take it away.
there's just a lot of distractions, and your artist is also there to promote himself in the best way. So even somebody coming by that goes, "Hey man, that looks sweet," he feels obligated, or they feel obligated to acknowledge that person, which is extremely respectful. That's why they paid to come to the convention.
Mhm.
It's just part of the fucking gig. You get tattooed at a convention, just expect to sit there,
Mhm.
expect there to be a bunch of little pauses, and
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the convention grind, I
I mean,
guess.
that's what I have to tell my clients. Anyone who I book at conventions or shows or anything, I let
It's
them
like
know up front.
no promises that we get 100% done.
I'm just
or,
like, I'm basically there to promote myself as well as tattoo. And there's going to be a lot of distractions. A lot of people want to grab my attention, you know, just to say what's up. So I can't tell you how much we're going to get done, you know, but like I'll do my best. and everyone's usually cool. Some people
Yeah.
prefer to get tattooed at conventions because they like the distractions of the people watching
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So to them, it's a distraction and they prefer it. But I typically don't get as much work done at shows.
Yeah.
I went to Tattoo the Lou a couple years ago, and I met Russ there, and he worked on me. We were supposed to do Saturday and Sunday, and amazingly, we got so much done Saturday that Russ was like, take tomorrow off. And I was like, yeah,
Nope.
yeah, I do, Russ.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea. As a matter of fact, like I'm real sore right now.
Mhm.
I'm real beat up. But we were doing like all lower back and butt cheeks, and at the convention with like, there was this guy, I'm not even sure who it was because my face was buried and I couldn't really pay that close of attention of who was who. But this guy was talking to Russ for like 3.5 hours about Teslas. And Russ was like, yeah, man. Like, yeah.
Those are sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I was just,
And he was
his
even
eyes
like-
are just glazing
Yeah,
over.
well, he was already shopping for one.
getting
Like
an
he
ear
was
beating.
already considering getting one. So this guy's like drilling these points home, and Russ is like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
But like in hindsight, it's probably somebody that just was stoked that Russ was
About
talking
Teslas,
to him
yeah.
and paying
Mhm.
attention. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just coloring on me like seashell, like, yeah, man. Wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, oh, this is awful. Kidney shot. Wah, wah, wah. Russ would be like, Fawn, can you lift your arms? And I'm like, hearing about Teslas, all the cool features, all the
probably
different
voted
things you
more
can
than him.
program them to. Well, I like cars. So
Yeah,
actually, it was probably a decent distraction, but it was just like that long of a conversation about Teslas at a tattoo show was like,
That
I
long of
get
a
it, bro.
conversation anytime is okay. You stayed on the same topic for what? I don't care what we're talking about. I was over 2 hours and a half ago.
you like Teslas? Yep.
Nope.
Cool. Me too. On to the next.
Awesome. Mine
You know
was
what they
gonna
can
be
do?
blue.
Yep. Me too. Cool. But we got, I was amazed that we got as much done at that show as we did. Cause like I do the same thing anytime I'm working a convention, especially like, working with Derb, you never know when you're going to get pulled away on another project, or like you might need help with like the True Tubes booth, or like any of these areas that I'm pretty comfortable just like stepping in if help is needed.
Yeah.
So for instance, at Hell City, I always have like my sister or one of my closest friends, Allie. And then, if we get a lot done, we get a lot done. And if we don't get a lot done, like, well, at least we got some done, and we got to hang out and see everybody and smoke with everybody and hang
Yeah.
out with everybody.
If
and
it's
Yeah.
pitched that way, it's a lot better. Like
there's no pressure on
Yeah.
either end. It's a project that I can kind of like
Right.
show off what I'm working on, how I work. And one of them's black and gray and the other one's color. So like that's 2 projects that are
Yep.
completely different, but big. But they're also so far along that like I can break away and come back. And it's like the project's so ingrained in me that I could probably tattoo either of them in my sleep at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't mean that like disrespectfully, just like we've been talking about these ideas for so long and we know like what's what. So for me, like I don't even try to make money at conventions. It's not even my goal. Like,
display piece.
yeah, I like to show off what I'm doing. I like to be able to talk to people about what I'm doing or what I'd like to do, or
Yeah.
like people that maybe have been messaging over and over for consultations, and like it always sounds like their idea is missing the mark. But when you can talk to somebody in person and they're like, well, this is really what I was thinking, it was like, oh, you just can't like clearly put ideas into
Typing's
work.
hard.
Well, and
I'm
as
serious,
artists,
man. Like
as artists, it's really easy to forget that not everybody talks visual language the way that we do. Some people literally don't know the words to use to get their idea from this thing that's in their head to something on paper.
Yeah.
And then to take that and to put it into words.
Mhm.
Like that's, as artists, like we get the vision. It's either there or it's not. And like it happens instantly. But for the average person to have that same idea and then go through the process of putting it into tangible words that then we can decipher, it's kind of hard to do over email.
Yep,
So
it can be,
sometimes when
yeah.
it seems like a potential client is missing the mark over and over again when they see us at a convention, it's like, oh, well, that sounds like exactly something I would want to do. Like
Yeah.
to hear it that way, that's all right. Let's go ahead and schedule your consult. Let's make this happen. So that's one of the things that I really like conventions for, is like just encouraging people to show up to talk to me.
Yeah.
On our last show, we had just gotten back from the Cincinnati Convention a couple weeks ago.
Okay. How was that?
It was pretty good. It was actually busier than I thought it would be. It's a Bill and
Nice.
Arts show, but it was, I sat and gossiped with Jamie, the Starbright girl.
Okay.
And she said that the shows are just like steadily getting busier and busier. And she was like, it seems like it's empty because this show is usually in one concourse, but this year they spread it out into 2 full concourses. So everything's like double the square footage, the same number of booths.
Okay.
But she said almost all the booths were completely full. Sunday, some people packed up and left early. So it did, there was like a little corner that kind of looked like a ghost town, but she said that was full. But it was a pretty good show. I mean, the majority of the people were masked up. There were people walking around kind of like asking people to cover their noses and things like that, but nobody was like making a big deal of it or anything.
That's good.
But it made me really optimistic. I think shows are going to be back to pretty much normal, just maybe spaced out further.
Yeah.
Like I think that's going to be the big difference, is things are just going to be spread out, more sprawling.
Well, heaven forbid, give you guys a little bit more space for the 4 people that are working in your 8x8 booth.
Mm-hmm. But on our show last week, one of the things that kind of like, this has always bothered me about conventions, is like, if you're attending a convention, if you're a collector, or you're an artist who wants to learn, you get to see all these artists working, but they're all tucked back in the corner. So you can't see what they're working on. You can't see their reference. You can't see their process. You can't see the tattoo as it develops throughout the day. Why bother even being there if you're going to tuck yourself in the corner, not show people what you're working on, and not talk to people? So last week, my challenge, and I'm going to just keep repeating this, I'm just challenging all artists who work at conventions to set up the other way around. Like, make yourself transparent. Let people see what you're working on. Let people see how you set up and the equipment you use. That's why you're there.
True.
You know what I mean? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
That's my official tattoo collecting podcast challenge.
Yeah.
Share your work. If you're spending the time traveling and you're spending the money to get
make
there,
your time there,
share it.
Make your time there worth it.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
sure.
I'm already like hard of hearing. So like when I'm in settings like conventions where it's super loud, like I already have to put myself towards the front of the booth because I won't be able to hear you. And then it's just like, oh, what? What did you say? No,
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, so
So-
you're a really confident tattooer. You've always been like anybody and everybody could look over your shoulder and it doesn't seem like it bothers you.
No, it doesn't bother
But
me.
that's just my challenge for tattooers working conventions, is just set up to make it worthwhile so people can see what you're working on. Like, it's kind of fun when you have a row 2 or 3 people deep, as wide as your booth is, where everybody's watching you and standing on their tiptoes and taking videos. Like, that doesn't happen if you're tucked in the corner hiding from yourself or hiding from your audience. When you're
Yeah.
showing off and you're doing something cool and you're doing something people want to see, like, you might get a lot of exposure from a lot of different people. Like, if you want to get your tattoo work in magazines and stuff like that, if that's one of your goals for working conventions, you're not going to do that tucked in the corner. You're going to do that by showing off what you're doing and lighting your area well and making it inviting for eyes, you know?
I mean, if you want to work a convention setting, but not at a convention, just come guest spot at Hollow Earth on a Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And next door to us, we have an ice cream sandwich shop. And all summer long, just a line of people spanning across our windows. And we have nothing but windows. So we're watched all day long. While we
Really?
tattoo.
You
Yeah.
love
Oh,
it?
wow.
That is
Yeah, I don't mind it. You
amazing
know, like
for foot traffic.
people just kind of like put their heads in. Whoa, what are you doing in there? Oh, we're tattooing. They're like, oh, whoa, cool. I mean, they're respectful, and I also think they don't want to lose their place in line, so nobody deviates to come inside. We had a couple people come in, and then we just like let them know. Like,
You know, one thing you
Yeah.
could do is get some little QR codes, put them on the outside of the building so that as
Yep.
people are looking, they can
Yep.
just like add you guys and like maybe
yeah, we
all
talked
3 of
about
your
that.
links.
Mhm.
That's
not
a
a bad
1-day
idea at all.
project. If you've got people like foot traffic like that outside,
Yeah, it'd
they
be
might come and wait in
super
line
easy
for
to do.
ice cream, and then while they're eating their ice cream, sit there and look at your work and try
Yeah.
and schedule a consult right there.
Mhm.
That's smart. I like that. Yeah, we had other ideas too to kind of team up with our neighbors, and some days they're closed, and it's the saddest thing ever to watch. You know, a mom or a dad get their kid out of the car, walk them across all our windows, and we already know in our heads it's closed. There's no ice cream today.
It's like watching a stoner drive up to a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday.
Exactly. And then it's just like
Beautiful, delicious
the
chicken.
depressed little girl or boy, just no ice cream today. Sorry.
What you guys should start doing is having a cooler up front and selling generic whatever from Kroger for $1 a piece.
Right. Well, I mean, that's kind of the idea we had. It was on days that they're closed or on days where they run out of ice cream, because that's happened before. So people come expecting them to be open, but they've got no ice cream. So we'll put a little A-frame sign outside that says free ice cream inside Hollow Earth. So they come into Hollow Earth, and that's just going to give us foot traffic and people to look at the art that we hung up. And we'll have little, if they're cool with it, little ice cream sandwiches, like coupons or free ice cream, a limited number, and they can come in, grab one of those coupons, and then apply it to their next ice cream
I think
adventure.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whether
I like
it's
that a
free
lot.
or discounted or whatever, it's like, come on inside. Sorry we're closed, but our neighbors have some coupons.
I think it's
Right.
so valuable to build those relationships with neighbors too.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just cross promoting where there's not even like a monetary, like just simply like hanging your art there, or you somehow promoting them, and it just, when you've got a symbiotic relationship with your neighbors,
It's nice.
always golden.
Yeah.
Get a couple really good photos of an ice cream sandwich that they made and paint them something.
Yeah. I don't think they want any of my original work, but I'll give them a nice ice cream sandwich.
Ask them to put up some of your paintings in
Yeah.
their shop.
Yeah, that'd be great for the kids. They'll love it.
One of the owners, Sean, though, he's got a fantastic collection by Nate Burns. If you guys are familiar with Nate Burns,
I don't think so.
works
No.
over at the Cauldron
Okay.
with
Okay, yeah.
Mike.
Not sure. I've never heard
Yeah.
of that shop.
Yeah, dope work.
Nice.
What's his name? Is he on Insta?
Yeah, it's his handle is Revolting Worship, I believe. There he is.
Well, you said it out loud. Google heard you.
So the owner of the ice cream shop has a bunch of this dude's work on his arms.
Oh, so you
Nice.
guys get along great.
Yeah, we get along great. He's like, yeah, my arms don't fit in with my business, but
It's okay.
You should talk to him about coming out with a flavor of ice cream that's like a Hollow Earth ice cream, but it's like an eyeball
yeah,
ice cream,
there you go.
and then
That'd
you could
be
do
cool.
some crazy art for the logo for it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Make it like a horror version of a Von Dutch eyeball.
that'd be cool. Very Halloween-y.
Mm-hmm.
Big scoop, little scoop, lots of raspberry syrup.
And look at this guy. Look at this little guy. That is an awesome little
Ooh.
guy tucked in
A
there.
little
Mhm.
spook.
Yeah, that's great.
Little spook. That's awesome. Some Guillermo.
Totally rad.
Yeah,
We got to show off some of your work, Nathan. So, everybody, this is Nathan Marty's work. The gnarliest.
Oh, and freehand. Just,
You know,
Oh, yeah.
sharp,
couple little Sharpies.
Sharpie wizard.
Slap it on there.
Speaking of
love
eyeballs.
What?
I love that Sharpie work.
Delightfully disgusting.
Inner arm eyeballs. Yum. Did you do everything, the other stuff on his arm too?
no, the stuff on the lower arm is done by Toxic down in Texas.
Okay. Ooh, God, that's gnarly.
this. So crisp.
I love the way that sickle swoops forward, the way that it does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, up there.
Mhm.
Nice. I didn't even notice that till now.
The day we started that piece, I actually was having a terrible allergy attack. And so like I thought I could make it into work that day. And he came in and I let him know like my nose was running real bad and like my face was just draining. And so I let him know and we got through the Sharpie drawing. And then at that point I had gotten up probably like 50 times to go blow my nose. So I just let him know. I was like, hey, bud, I think we're going to just like quickly gray line this and then call it a day. I won't charge anything. Just we'll come back in like 2 weeks and we'll finish it up. And that's what we had to do. But it was terrible allergies.
Dang, that sucks.
I woke up pretty stuffy today. I definitely took a Zyrtec like 15 minutes after I got up. I
love
feel
the
like I
sprayer.
still sound kind of stuffy. Yeah, I love your scenery, man.
Yeah, look at that texture, that fur, so smooth. Yeah, love the use of the negative
Landscapes
space for this.
Are hard. What do you think about them? You do
Oh,
them?
I love them.
You love them?
Oh, yeah. It's
Even like
effortless
elongated
for me.
limbs, like
Effortless. If that's what I could do all day, every day.
nice.
Like that in outer space. So Ben's letting me do that in outer
That's
space.
rad.
But that's going to go all the way around and like fill in all the open space on Ben's back thigh and bottom.
Oh wow, you guys really got far in your last session. I haven't seen it since. That's pretty fucking cool.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Come on,
That's
Ella.
guys in well,
Nice
too.
big long landscapes.
Yeah.
I start off
That's
with a
all good
grid
too.
every time. I'll take a yellow marker and just draw my verticals and horizontals while they're standing nice and relaxed. And then once I get that, they can sit however, and I just work off of
Yeah.
that grid. So as long as I stick with my original verticals and horizontals, everything still flows with the body great.
Do you ever stencil or do you just freehand all the landscapes?
I can do it either way. I feel like most of the time when I'm building a landscape, I'm building a story around that landscape. So a lot of times there's not the perfect photo reference. So I'll take several and then just
Mhm.
freehand it from those several different references. Every now and then somebody will have like, this is the specific place that I want. Or sometimes it'll be like, I'll freehand this, but this is the sunset I want. So sometimes it's a combination and it just kind of depends on what sentimental elements there are and
Yeah.
what are just like kind of like spatial filler for the story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when it gets tricky too, when they want specific things. It's like, okay. gotta
That's
work
where
on
we've got to
that.
be creative and like think outside the box. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we can tell this part of the story this way. We can, this shape here means that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Them deets.
Teeth. I like
Them
teeth.
deets.
oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, look at that sinus cavity.
Mhm.
Speaking of allergies,
ain't got
that's
no
how
allergies.
Nathan
Good
felt that
segue.
day.
Yeah.
Great eye only.
Oh man.
I love that head tattoo too. I'm sure we'll get back to it, but
Yeah, it was Blade.
yeah.
He's been on here.
That's Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys just do that?
The noggin?
The head? No. I did that at Red Tree.
This arm right there?
No.
No.
He's,
Oh,
he's
the
talking about
noggin,
the
the
head
head,
tattoo.
Yeah, but this is Blade's arm right here.
No.
Sorry.
Ben mentioned head.
Oh, right. It
Yeah,
said right
sorry,
here. Okay,
sorry.
I didn't see this right next to that picture. Nice.
Kevin Stress is doing some amazing work on Blade. Have you seen his
Never
like
seen you do this one.
Japanese bio?
Yeah, the leg piece.
He's like connecting and filling that whole arm on him now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's got a lot of Kevin's work now. He's got a big gunner piece on his leg too, a big bio gunner piece. Have
Does
you
he?
seen that?
I must have. I don't recall it right now, but
It's cool. Maybe we'll jump over to Blade's page here in a minute. This turned out really nice, Nathan.
thank you.
You know, I'm a sucker for the architectural elements and to like use the rose window as like a morph element instead of
Mhm.
doing like a whole cathedral. You know, it's all about the details. So combining two smaller elements like that really pulls my trigger.
Yeah, that guy was cool too. We started that at a convention, actually. I think it was like 2 sessions, maybe 3.
Sorry. Yeah, that's so dope. Love that mouth.
A lot
So
of
much depth.
3-liner work in there.
Mm-hmm. There's so much you can achieve the way you
I
like
love those
stipple those
three-liners.
little whites in
Little
there.
triangle, man.
Mhm.
I learned that from you. I never really did details with a 3-liner. Just in my brain, I was like, you know, I'll use like a 5 shader or something like that. But then I
Yeah,
realized I
yeah.
can like really get in there with
Yeah,
some real
to
tight
really
knit
scoop
stuff.
it.
Like
Yeah.
a triangle's perfect. You're only gonna get a triangle from like that 3-liner.
Mm-hmm.
So much texture.
Definitely the more open the 3-liner, in my opinion, the better. As
Yeah.
opposed to like anything tight. Or do you use tights when you
No,
do
I just use your
that? Yeah, right.
typical.
What kind of machine do you like to use?
I've got an FK right now.
You got a FK?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had it for a while. FK, it's all right. It's the Zion pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, you've been using that for a while.
Before that, I had an Inkjecta. That was fun.
Nice. Yep. I got my my FK took a shit probably like a month or two ago. Just stopped working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Just started making a lot of noise and then just stopped working. I just threw it to the side and haven't really thought about it much. But I got my Cheyenne pen. That's
Click on this one here.
nice and reliable.
Yeah.
Look at that drop shadow underneath that tentacle. That's really nice and soft. I've always admired a lot of the real soft, subtle shadow work that you put into things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Nathan's probably one of the first artists that I started following like years ago that was just like, oh, you want a skeleton? Let's make it giant.
That's really giant.
Oh, you just want a little, let's make it take up your entire limb.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we
It's
were
like,
doing tattoos today.
Yeah.
That's another one of those,
Yeah.
like, noted.
Mm-hmm.
See what you did there.
If this isn't a prime example of like trust your artist for sure, because like
Right.
things can be so simple, and and people might look at that and be like, I do plenty of bio stuff where it's just very light, simple outline like that, but look at what you get. Just trust your artist.
Yeah, that was a
Let them
2-day
do their
session.
thing. But you also can't deny it when you just did this too.
Well, you did pretty good there, but I don't know.
Stop.
Still skeptical.
Yesterday went great, but
That's so dope. Look at these tiny little textures in there. Like
jeez.
rough and slimy.
That guy's from Michigan.
Is he?
Yeah, he drove down.
How far? How far up?
He said Detroit. I think probably just.
2.5,
Yeah.
or like 3.5 hours.
Dirty mitten.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit.
You guys are both Michiganders.
Look at that.
I left the eyes out on the forehead.
This makes me wish I had like more space.
Skip that.
In the
Long
studio.
nights.
Hollow
Yeah,
work.
that's the fastest way to get me to be like, okay, we're done tattooing. Did it just cross 10 o'clock? Right.
Ben's like, oh, we're done then.
Wrap this up. My body's shutting down.
Have you guys switched to wireless yet?
Oh yeah, I think I have a new machine waiting on me at the shop today. I've been using these little masked $100. Well, they're actually $89 pens, masked tours. They're itty bitty tiny little rotaries, and I throw the littler battery packs on them.
Nice.
Golden.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried out a few other pens. I've kind of grabbed a few derbs just to try them out, and I'm so impressed with these machines. I've got one that I've been working with for like 2 years now. $100.
No shit.
I will put it up next to any of the other mentioned machines.
Yeah.
And
Is it a direct drive then? Just like.
yeah. And I mean, I work really long sessions, you do too, but
Mhm.
You can't have a machine that sucks after 6 hours.
No.
But I really put it to them, and I'm clumsy, and I drop them, and I throw them, and I'm kind of careless when I'm like taking them apart and cleaning them, and like, I'm just fumbly. And great. They run fantastic.
Nice.
So I guess with as expensive as machines are getting and as high tech as they are, when I know the basic mechanisms are also simple and inexpensive.
You gotta wonder. Mhm.
How much of this is marketing
Yeah.
and how much of this is extra, and how much of all that extra engineering is just extra weight on my prissy little wrists that I
Mhm.
want to last till I'm like much older than I am now. Like,
Yeah.
Half an ounce difference might make a few years difference in my career.
I'm a backpacker.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
have to explain that. to
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah.
I spent thousands of dollars to be lighter.
Ben's a pretty passionate outdoorsman.
I backpack a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That shit gets expensive quick.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And heavy.
No, it's light. That's what I'm
Light.
saying.
It's all
Like,
light.
so
How much is your pack weigh?
right now? How much food?
let's say you were going out into the woods
My
for
base
4
kit
days.
is 8 pounds. So anything after that would be food and water.
And okay, what does that 8 pounds include?
Everything I need to live.
Okay, so
outside.
you got your backpack,
Backpack,
got your
water
hammock.
filtration system, hammock system, insulation, tarp.
and an extra pair of socks.
Yeah.
Golden.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But yeah, like but still, I get it. I couldn't imagine. I mean, the only time I ever handled machines was the old coil machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just scrubbing tubes.
Yep.
Breaking down stations. You know what I mean? And it got to the point where, like, even just standing there and holding tubes all day, you felt it.
Oh yeah.
If I sat back there and scrubbed tubes for a couple hours, like I was done after that. I don't want to touch them anymore. I couldn't imagine having a strained weight while you're trying to focus on something that's dual tension. It's exactly what they tell you not to do, and that's how you hurt yourself the most. So like, I get it. I wouldn't want to lug an 8-pound machine all day because you're continually bobbing back and forth. It's repetitive motion, and like that's an easy way to get injured. I know it sounds
I feel like I've
Like
always
nothing,
sought
but
out the
even really
tiniest
tight, get
machines
carpal tunnel.
just
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeking out tinier machines. That's my goal, is to have the tiniest machine I can, or something that's just equivalent to like a paintbrush or a pen. The closer it can become that, the better. So the closer I can get to just feeling like there's no weight in my hand,
Mhm.
honestly.
Back when I was still working
Because
with
that just means
coils.
the lighter my hand can be, honestly. Like that weight just adds a little bit of weight. Like sometimes, you get used to it, so it feels like, oh yeah, I like the weight because, the gravity of it can help you like pull a line or something. But then there's another part where I feel like, I don't know, the smaller machine is, you're still going to adapt to it. If it's doing the same job, you're going to figure it out. And the lighter you can be, the less traumatic you can be to the skin.
Right.
You guys wrap your machines to like
Mummify them completely.
grips
Yeah.
like that, to where
Yeah.
like you got a palm.
I used to
Have you seen the new True
do the
Grip
toilet
5?
paper roll
That big
style.
old chunky one. Derb says they're selling like hotcakes. Everybody's
Yeah.
loving them. They've got a bigger diameter on the inside, so they fit bigger pens. But that's crazy to me.
If I'm doing
I
big
mean,
shading
I
and
like
big
a
gradients, I
comfortable
like it when
grip,
it's big.
but
If I'm doing little detail and lines and stuff, if I'm pulling big lines, big grip. If I'm doing little detail, I like it more like a pen. I like it a little bit thinner. But big
I use
black
a
fillers, big
full
black
roll.
filler or something, I'm like paper towel. I'm like toilet paper roll style.
No,
It's a full roll. I'm
No, I
sponsored,
even
bitch.
upgraded from first. I've got the big Gorilla grips.
Oh,
from
you're going
Dark
just
Labs.
full
So
fucking
they're already pretty thick. I
handful.
take some paper towel, I wrap that, then do full thing of tape. So I'm like tattooing like this. I'm
Yeah.
holding this canteen, just like
Love it.
the nice thing about working with a big grip like that, the difference is now you work off of your shoulder and off of your elbow. You're not working off of your hand and wrist. So
Yes.
there is a method to the madness when you
Yeah.
see people with absurdly large grips, because it forces you to
Mhm.
work with your arm, not your hand.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Do
absolutely,
you agree?
absolutely.
I agree.
Your
100%.
fingers are less sore.
Yep. Because before, like after a while, especially like my last 2 digits, like my pinky and my ring finger, I don't know why, those get sore first.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm
If I
pressing
could be-
down.
If I could be honest, when I was like, well, I just think my hands are just kind of, I'm getting some carpal tunnel issues in general, but like I was doing really big ones. It was so comfortable for like a couple years, and just like toilet paper roll style,
Mhm.
just exactly what you're saying, just roll after roll, and then wrap a whole roll of tape on there and just have it as big as I can. It felt so great until my hands started like locking up and that, like being big like that. And then I started getting a lot of issues right here when it was like that. And then it became really comfortable to go small again.
Yeah.
But now then my hands will kind of cramp up when I do that. I think it's just like whatever I do for a long time ends up being like an issue. I got to switch it up.
Moderation.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Right.
So if,
But I
if
really-
I
I
happen to be
enjoy
doing something
The
that
fat
is
rolls for sure.
that is only line work or only stippling, I'll set up with a hex grip, because it just like locks my hand in this little,
Mhm.
like my hand stays in the same position, and it just removes a lot of variables for me. But if I'm shading, that's not the most comfortable way to set up.
The memory
So I guess the
foam-
point I'm making is like even the same artist might set their machine up different ways depending on what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like what you're doing with your hand for the day. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The memory foam, like when I do have that, I don't like. I'll buy it like half the time. So I'll have the memory foam True Grips for like my Cheyenne and Zion like half the time, and then the other half the time I'll just wrap it up with like the Sensi wrap or the grip tape. But that memory foam, oh man, it like changes the game completely. My hand is so comfy when I'm using it. Like it's just like I always feel like I was like a caveman before I used it. Like I'm like, how did I ever do that? But then I'll run out of it and I'll be like, all right, I'm cool for a few of them.
Nope, I gotta have them every time.
Yeah, they're so good. They take away the vibration. It's just like there's like just that grippiness that like gives you something to squeeze without like being too firm.
It took like 3 months for my hands to recover once I started using the foam grips. I used to have like on my thumb and my index finger and my ring finger, like all of these cuticles would split like in here, here, and then here, just from like how thick the calluses were.
Really?
You know, and I was wrapping my machines with like paper towel and taping them, and like it would be a nice, neat, tidy wrap.
Yeah.
But like it was to the point where like it was numb. Like I could hold, for instance, I could hold a blunt till the cherry was touching me just because the callus was so thick there. And like, not to be weird, but like as a woman, like I like having like girly hands,
delicate
like
hands.
soft girly hands. But it took about 3 months after switching to those when they first came out for all the calluses to almost completely go away. Like I have a little bit of like an artist nub on my middle finger, but not like it was. It was starting to be really bad. And
Drawing
like it
bump.
reversed so quickly once I switched to the memory foam grip covers, that now I won't even, especially with True Tubes being like attached to us. Like I'll just walk down to the warehouse and
It's hard not to.
Jess, can you ring me up real quick? I just
never,
won't tattoo.
I never once tried
I
them
tried to
ever
be good
until
with my hands.
like 4 months ago. I never once tried one of our memory foam grips because I didn't know we had one that fit the Cheyenne or Zion. I was like, oh, all right, I can squeeze this one on there, and it was just like all came together.
Yeah, it's just there's a huge difference when you go like I've always been mindful of hand health. So when my hands were sore, I always had like, they call it thinking putty, but it's like this really hard, like silly putty type stuff that like is therapeutic to like knead and like basically work your hands out as you're just sitting and watching TV and stuff. So I would do things like that. And I would do like different, like the carpal tunnel stretches and, you know, all the different, I did all of those things and my hands were just still tired all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what tired hands feel like.
Yeah.
So my hands just felt tired all the time. So if like making a $1 change, for $1 a day, your tattooer hands can be much happier.
Yeah, that's worth
$1.
it.
That should be one of our first fake commercials.
You
For
can
just
adopt
$1 a day.
tattoos.
In the
These poor ligaments.
arms of the,
The
memory
ligaments.
foam.
Where your tendons are free.
The line was 4 bars ago, guys. I'm just kidding.
What do you guys do for back and neck issues? Do any regimen stuff there, or?
I see
Try
a
to
massage
stretch his-
therapist
I try to
that I think
stretch.
I'm in love with. But she only sees me twice a month. So the feeling's not mutual.
How about we keep this professional?
No, I love my massage therapist. And I think the more I see her, the more like beneficial it is. Like the more in tune with my body she gets.
Yeah.
She's also a client of mine. So she's seen how I work and like she understands that like
That's why
you can lecture me all day long about how to work with proper posture, but when I'm doing that under armpit back bicep, I'm gonna do what it takes to get the job done, lady.
That's right.
Like
Yep.
that's just it is what it is. That's why I'm paying you the money to correct me.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me.
It's
But-
hard. You can't stay straight and proper 8 hours out of the day when you're tattooing.
Well, we're not working
There's
on
always-
a flat surface that we can control the level of elevation. We're working
Mhm.
on this squishy thing that's alive and moves. Oh, and we have to like help comfort it and hold it still and always apply pressure. And then there's our body weight bearing down on our prissy little artist arms too.
You gotta exercise. You
My
gotta
shoulders
stretch.
are always a wreck. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, my shoulders are fine. It's my hips that hurt.
That's what I
no,
was
it's
just-
all a wreck all
Yeah.
the time.
I think my hips are where so much of my own stress goes.
You guys are making me buy
Hips and my traps. Right? You start thinking about it and you're like, oh yeah, this sucks. And
Well,
this
that- I
area's
mean,
bad.
The best thing that worked
That's
for
what stretching
me
does for you.
is stretching, like some yoga stretches every morning, every night, 10 minutes, doesn't take long. And then also, like you said, building up that muscle and that strength to enable yourself to hold yourself up for longer hours. So I was having pretty bad back problems in between my shoulder blades and neck problems, to where like I thought that was life. I was living life to my fullest. I just had to deal with the pain. And I went and saw a medical massage therapist. He did great work, and it felt great for that day and the day after, but then it just came right back. And so he was like, well, you have to see me every 2 weeks. And I was like, well, that's a lot. It's like $160 every 2 weeks. So I was like, well, there's got to be another way. And so I found one of Rusty's clients was a personal trainer. And so I asked him about it. He said, come on in, we'll get you fixed up. And within a couple of sessions, like it was physical training, but like the first few sessions was just me getting my muscles rolled out with like heavy bars, back rollers, stuff like that. That's all we focused on. And then from there, built on with the strength training, working out the back, the neck, the arms, everything. We just need to be able to support myself. Haven't had problems since.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
awesome.
actually had a conversation with my massage therapist actually about you in this situation. And I was like, so do you think, like, should I be doing core strengthening as well? She's like, no, your core is fine. You need to actually relax your muscles. So she was like, you need to get a yoga ball and you need to do that. And she like showed me how she wants me to stretch on it. And she's like, you need to relax. Like you need to bend over backwards and you need to just completely relax. And you need like to let the traction do what it's doing. So for me, I was worried that like maybe my core should be stronger. I don't know. She's like, no, your core is good. Like you're good.
Yeah.
So I just think it's nice to see somebody who knows more about their bodies than we do to like give us guidance.
Yeah.
Because we all use our bodies differently. We're all made a little bit differently. We all come from different, like some of us come from athletic backgrounds. Some of us come from a non-athletic background. Some of us have been injured. We're all different, but I feel like for the sake of a long career, I will listen to anybody's helpful advice, and I'm going to follow it, and if it makes a difference, I'm going to keep doing it. And if it doesn't make a difference, I might seek out other advice. But like, so far, simply like actually stretching every 2 hours. Like when I take a break, like take a 15-20 minute break and stretch and snack and hydrate and like in my case, smoke a whole bunch of weed.
Yeah.
But like when I used to just work like 4 and 5 hours straight through because I thought I was like doing something better for my client. Have you ever been a client that got tattooed for 5 hours with no break? It's misery. So as a collector, I've learned that my clients look forward to that break, like at the end of every movie we're watching or at the end of every like 2 or 2.5 hours. Like they look forward to it and they need to stretch and they need to get comfortable just as much as I do. I've been tattooed and like my hips and knees hurt more than wherever I was being tattooed just because like tattoo chairs suck.
Yeah.
They are not comfortable. You can get top of the line Cadillac tattoo furniture and I could name drop. I could not name drop. They all suck. They're all over-engineered spa chairs that are not ergonomic for the tattooer or the collector.
Nope.
Prove me wrong.
Can't.
We'll accept free deliveries of tattoo chairs at
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, in any position where you have to stand still or sit still or lay still for X amount of hours, like, and not be able to move and adjust yourself, like switching hips. You can't do that when you're getting tattooed. So it's like that same hip.
Put me on my hip for 5 hours. I'll complain a lot.
Yeah.
So one thing that
lots
Ben
of good
does,
places it can go.
one thing Ben does, and I recommend that all clients do this, bring a pillow with you. Some artists have pillows, some artists don't, but bring a comfortable pillow with you. I even recommend bringing a blanket with you.
Yeah.
Like you can use it as a pillow or a cushion. You can use it for discretion if you need it. You can use it if you get the tattoo chills that you get when, you start going into shock after hour 5. Like bring a pillow, bring a blanket. It's not weird. Bring your favorite snacks.
Yeah.
Do those things.
Yeah, I encourage it. Always water, snacks.
Everybody wants to be babied when they're getting tattooed. I don't care who you
Oh,
are.
that's me time. I'm there for me. I'm not going to be uncomfortable the whole time.
For
Like-
some people, tattoo day is like your spa day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Bring a blanket. Bring a blanket and a pillow. It's okay with me. You can get your stuff dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mine. I'll bleed on it. It's okay.
Right.
Oh, it's your filth. It's cool.
Yeah, it's mine. It's mine. I do suggest the pillowcase. No.
Yeah, right. Wash them, please, first.
Yeah.
Don't want a bunch of like pet dander. and
Right.
all that.
Oh
all
yeah,
over the
bring
blanket.
clean
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely
You're
wash
opening your skin.
pillow, wash
Mhm.
your blanket.
And-
Dedicated tattoo pillow and blanket. I
And-
think would be a good idea.
And your bed
Also,
sheets.
I don't know who needs to hear this. I was just going to mention bed sheets and
Yeah.
towels. Have
Yeah.
some clean towels on deck,
Yeah.
clean bed sheets.
You're
Don't
going
be
home
dirty.
to a clean bed.
Right. Next couple days, you're gonna be clean.
Yeah.
So one of
You're
the
not
good
gonna
things
wash your
about
sheets
getting
once every 2 months.
Yeah.
one
Every
of the
4
good things
months,
about getting
you dirty-
tattooed when you're on the
dirty
road
person.
Ain't my
is you're in that
sheets.
hotel. Everything's been bleached. Everything's fresh.
Yeah.
You don't have to clean it up afterwards.
That's true.
Can
You
we
can just
get
leave it
to
in a pile.
Ask your tattooer for a bib for
Yeah.
your chairs and take it back to the hotel with you. They're semi-sterile. They're a lot cleaner than the rewashed, recycled sheets from the Super 8 that I would stay at. So if you can get a dental bib or whatever your person calls them and lay it down and sleep on that, it might not be the best comfort-wise, but you won't wake up with a stuck sheet from a hotel on you.
Yeah.
True. Do you guys usually stay wrapped up the night after you get tattooed?
I do. I'll do the first night wrapped.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Mhm.
Shower in the
I
morning.
like letting that plasma just kind of chill. But
Mhm.
sometimes I will take a shower though.
I generally go and clean it first. So I don't like to be like wrapped up right after, because I'm going home to shower, going wherever to shower, because I want to open it up and get all the packing material out, if you will. And then I like using those armor pads. Those have been
The tattoo armor?
Tattoo armor pads.
Ed
God
was the name of our guest that recommended those. We need to have him on again.
Giant pillow pads that are soft on both sides. And working on my leg, I mean, we're doing a big chunk. I just stuck it underneath the pair
And
of,
they're super cheap.
compression shorts,
Mhm.
and it just holds. It's loose. They don't stick. They're not medicated or anything.
I
but
believe they're only $10
they're
a pack.
super absorbent. Like I loved them.
Really?
I'm sold on them. Like
Yep.
sold on them.
$10 a pack. So it ends up being $1 a bandage, which ends up being like cheaper than, what do we call them? ADWs,
ADWs.
adherent
Yep.
dermal wraps.
Cheaper than the ADWs with less reaction.
Yeah, because I have real bad reactions to the adhesive style bandages.
I know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
would say-
tattoo armor
I would
is
say
great.
half the people lately that would talk to me about it.
The less expensive. If you go to Rite Aid and buy the generic brand from there, and it's not tattoo specific, and try to use it in the same way, I've had way worse reactions
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
super
Don't do
cheap ones.
that. They
So
don't make
definitely say
they
industry
don't make them big
standards.
enough either. You got to overlap those too much.
Right.
So
So
as soon as you
it's-
start overlapping, you suffocate it.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's good to know. Because all my stuff is big. So like
What do
That's
you
why
think, Sam?
I don't use it on my big pieces because
We use the
like,
tattoo
I'll
armor
break
on
out
you,
if I
right?
use it on my big pieces, and like people will break out, but it's really hard to do that without overlapping it too much.
Yeah.
You can do like a 1/2 inch, but as soon as you have that other layer on it, the gas can't exchange it.
I never
anymore. It's
even
saran,
thought of
it's
that.
saran
Yeah.
wrap at that point.
Right. I never even would have thought of that.
Okay.
That's my theory.
It makes sense to me.
But right, I mean, you would think that's quite another barrier. I mean, that's
it's
but
doing something.
maybe
it was something.
Yeah.
It
Right.
goes
I'll,
back to like every tattoo is going to have different needs. And, I like using like Dermalize or one of the other ADWs for smaller tattoos, or like,
Yeah.
let's say,
it's like second skin
and let's say I've got a client
ones.
that's just got a filthy job where it's like, this is just going to eliminate a lot of variables. Usually I like to send people home with some so that they can rewrap it after 24 hours. I
Mhm.
think that's kind of crucial, is to always exceptions to these rules, but I think it's really crucial to like replace the bandage after the first 24 hours. And then, do whatever.
I
But
just think it can be such a pain in the butt if you're like, you gotta say like one of us are working on a full sleeve
Mhm.
and you were to do
I
you
think a
use
full
if you were to
limb is
use
too
if
much.
you were to use an ADW and you want to change it after the first 24 hours, that's why
Yeah.
it just becomes like, it's as a client, like when I'm getting tattooed and I have to change my Sanoderm and stuff, pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
pain in the ass.
Yeah.
No way around it. Unless like there was so much done that you were so plasma filled that like it just slid right off. That's not usually the case.
Right,
At least
right.
for me, whenever I put it on there, it's it's on there. On there.
Mhm.
I might have bubbles of plasma in different areas, but it's not usually slippery, gooey by the time.
I've had it go both ways.
I have had both. But
I've had
in
it
my
fill up with
recent
a pocket,
in my
you're
recent
just like,
encounter,
"Oh, I should drain that.
Yeah.
mhm.
But it's okay to leave it, right?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
okay to leave it, but I'm like,
I usually tell
I'm
people
afraid
to
of
change their
popping
sanitaire.
it
I'm like,
while I'm working.
in the
Or
first
in
3
line at the
days.
grocery store, and you're just like, oh,
I have this color cesspool bleeding under my shirt.
Yeah, I think
Hold on.
popping is bad. I don't think ever pop it. Never. pop it.
No. I just take bandages off.
Yeah. But the plasma's good. I feel like as long as there's no, like, it's sterile as long as there's
Yeah.
no openings to it.
Right.
So that plasma can just sit and chill. I think it heals your tattoo even better. You
Mhm.
know, just sitting in your own little gut.
that's what I hear.
It just makes me feel gooey.
Right. It does.
I understand that it's
there's
sterile,
it's just like
but
the
it's
first
still
night you get
gross.
tattooed and you're in a
He's sterile. I
hotel
don't
and you
wanna-
sleep that night. Like when I get tattooed by a guy and I got my whole back done, there's a part of me that wants to take that shower. There's another part of me that loves like sleeping in that for that night. And it might be gross, might get all over the sheets, but at the same time, like I feel like I have such a better healing for the rest of the time because my body was just able to like close itself right up
Mhm.
using its own plasma. As long as it's like pretty wrapped and I don't all of a sudden dry out with a fucking huge area of plasma on my back.
Mummify it.
That's a different thing.
Mm.
When I tattooed my back, we used paper towels and painter's tape. That was-
Okay,
that's-
so this is
that
going to
was my
sound crazy.
bandage.
As
Worked great.
as high tech as some of the stuff that we have is, it blows my mind that the least reactive tape that I can find to bandage people with is blue painter's tape.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Like
Get
it
that
is
wide
the
roll, you'll
least
use it, trust
reactive.
me.
It's crazy. Like as a
It really
collector,
is.
if you ever wonder why like we use like all this like high end medical stuff and then we tape you up with like blue tape from the hardware store that says like 3M all inside of it and like painters quick release whatever, like
Mhm.
for some reason that is nobody reacts to that adhesive. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It blows my mind that that's the best tape to use. But like out of all of the experimentation I've done, all the tapes that I've tried, blue painter's tape is really the best for our purposes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do either of you disagree?
I know I 100% agree. I'm at the same terms. I will use
It
some
just
other
blows
tapes,
my mind.
but
That's the best
but
tape
that
to
is
use.
the one that always.
It sticks to the body the best. Now, like paper medical
Like
tape
360
sticks really
even
well,
when I'm
but I get a lot of
doing
reactions
anything.
to it.
Yeah. I use blue painter's tape. I would have like not heavy reactions, but like you would see a little red spot, like or a little welt
Mhm.
that where they took it off.
On the painter's tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything serious or anything, but I mean that was it.
I
But
think
not
there's-
like where we have like
I'm gonna be honest. There's different grades though too. Like painter's tape's not
That's
all made
true.
the same.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are real easy, quick release ones. Some are more made for fucking staying on the wall, hardcore.
well, I'm
Mhm.
talking about the blue 3M painter's tape.
yeah.
I get the generic
Okay.
stuff.
You get the generic?
Yeah,
Okay,
big
well,
packs of
Nathan's
it.
using the Dollar Tree stuff.
Yeah.
Good luck. If it's light blue, run the other way.
I would prefer a bougie bandage, please.
Duct tape it is.
Mhm.
Go down to the garage and grab a roll of gaff tape.
That'd be
That'd be about the
sanitary.
bougiest it can get, though.
Yeah, I really do think the blue painter's tape is probably the best way to go.
It just
All other
boggles
tapes.
my mind.
All other tapes, you never know. But it's not like you're using a lot.
I
Just
say
enough for the
use
night.
What you have, if it works, good for you.
Next time I work on you, I'm going to bandage you up with Scotch tape.
Yes.
Little pieces.
Yes.
Tons of
I
tiny
just
pieces.
take it off
In a
the
bow.
cover. In a bow.
You're going to be like, how did I get tape
There
here?
may be a ribbon involved. I take Scotch tape, baby.
Ben's wife is such a good sport.
Yeah, just put up my shit a lot.
I feel like if he came home with a weird ribbon on him somewhere, she would be like, I don't even know what to say. On to the next.
She probably wouldn't even notice, to be honest with you. She's like, okay, that's what you do now. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
If I can do that. Just like, oh yeah, okay. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's a ribbon on your thing.
All right. Where did the black torch go? Do you have
Black
it?
torch?
Yes.
I was trying to get stoned.
Look at this new torch I got.
What?
It's heavy duty.
It's fancy.
Push it in. And you can feather it with your finger.
Oh, I see you control.
Nice,
All
right?
All right.
I mean, I was a little disappointed that it didn't have an oxygen mix on it, but it might be making up for it.
It was about time. It was about time.
Nathan, have you collected any new artwork, like other than tattoos? Have you collected any new paintings or anything lately?
Not that I could recall. Nothing recent. Yeah. Nicole, my wife, she collected a print of a super rad painting done by Alex Pangburn in Colorado, one of our friends.
Nice.
It's like this rad flamingo painting.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
That's our newest addition to the home.
Your pear painting print hangs in my bedroom.
The one with the green.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Sweet.
Your painting also hangs right here.
Oh, cool.
Bam!
Yeah.
I use you to decorate
Here,
my
let me,
house.
That's Nathan.
Yeah.
Nice and framed. No duct tape on the wall.
It was duct tape on the wall for a while.
Hey, to be fair, it had a huge white error or
To be
huge white
fair.
mat, for the wrap and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this area can
no.
handle a little duct tape.
Yeah.
I should have just waited to put it on the wall. There it is, though. Nice and framed, looking fancy, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that was one of the paintings we had at the last bio show, the Ohio Bio Show. I did one like that in a winter scene too. Both of them sold.
Really,
Yeah.
that would be really cool. The winter scene.
So you brought it up before I did. Are there going to be possible art shows one day at Hollow Earth?
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Do you guys know what art show in particular I'm talking about?
Bio show.
The
Yeah,
Ohio
the
Bio.
Ohio Bio
show.
Yeah.
I don't know who knows this or doesn't know this, but every time we talk about bio on here, the Ohio Bio Show has come up in conversation. Nathan is responsible for that. That was his
Yeah.
baby.
It was an idea I had in like 2015, 14-ish. And I brought it up to, she's now my wife, Nicole, at the time. And I was like, hey, I got this idea for this art show. I think it'd be really cool. I think it would get a lot of people together and like under this one community of like biomech. And she's like, so do it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, that was easy. And then she was able to pretty much, if I'm being honest, like Nicole ran Ohio Bio underneath all the scenes. Like
Mhm.
she was the one that put in the work and the contacts and like emails and like pretty much all the work for at least the first two shows. And then like the third one, she's like, all right, you got to do some work now. And I was like, I can't just be the face, But yeah, so it was basically her and I. We did it for 3 years. We skipped every year. So we started in 2015 and then did 17 and then 19. And each year it just progressively got bigger and bigger as far as like the crowds and then the artists participating and the amount of art that we had to deal with. And it was all organic or biomech related art. So we just.
And then there was a little tattoo competition also.
Yeah. By the third.
A bio tattoo competition.
Yeah. By the third show, we wanted to change it up a little bit and we wanted to get collectors more involved. So like a lot of artists were coming out to the previous shows and like that was super rad. But we also wanted like collectors and people who collected art and tattoos to feel like they can come out and participate as well. So we hosted on the third show, kind of like a tattoo competition, if you will, the same thing you would typically see at a convention. And it was just like best biomech tattoo. Like we kept it real simple. And I commissioned Marco to do 3 sculptures would be the
Mammoth,
trophies.
right?
Vasquez,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Vasquez.
Yeah.
And they were just like little square sculptures, and that was like first, second, and third place winners. Like whoever won
That's cool.
through the panel of judging got one of those to take home,
Mhm.
and it was really awesome.
That's really cool. His sculptures are so awesome.
So cool.
Oh, I love him so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Who won? I know one of Toby's clients.
One of Toby's clients, his sleeves.
Jay. Ty's client,
I
Jay.
think it was Jay. And then Forrest.
Was Forrest the other one? That makes sense. I wanted to say Forrest, but I couldn't remember for sure. But yeah, his leg had just been finished then, so that makes sense. We've had Forrest on, and we've had Jay on a couple of times.
Nice. Those guys are cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Did you
I
see
like that.
the biomech panel that we had? We'll be doing that again some upcoming evening. But we had a handful of collectors, and they joined us. And then we had who all? We had Adam,
We had
Ty,
Adam, Brian, Geckel.
Brian Geckel.
Yeah, Ty was there. Adam was there.
I think we're stoners.
There they are. 3 winners.
Yep.
I think Jay was on. That's awesome. Guy came on for a little bit.
Let me see.
Nice. Focus.
Come on. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing.
Hey,
What an awesome night, man.
Ohio Bio.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
love ourselves some biomech.
as far as plans on doing the show again, I think Nicole has officially retired. So I don't know if Rusty's interested in like taking on the other half of that workload, but it's a lot of work, and it's a nonprofit, so nobody's like making money off of it. Basically what we sought out for in the previous shows was any money that was made would obviously go to the cost of running the show, and if anything was left over, we just donated it to Environmental of Ohio. And I mean, it wasn't much because the cost of shipping paintings back and forth it gets pricey, but that's how we ran it. That's how I think it should be run until it ceases. So
Nice.
but I mean, we have a space. We haven't talked about it. We don't have any dates. I know COVID kind of jumped in the middle of things, so we'll see.
I just know if and when the Ohio Bio Show revives, you're going to have people waiting for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have just been, I don't know. I think that was such an important thing because it was organic and it came together just so like naturally, and money wasn't like you said, it was not for profit. Like you guys just put your time into it, but it got so many artists together, and like even the artists, like you submitted a painting, right?
Yeah.
But you weren't able to come. But I guess what I'm saying is it got all of these artists together who, like, a lot of us know one another, but a lot of artists were kind of new to bio, and you know, and I think it was just a really special thing to like show how like all encompassing bio is.
Right.
Like it's an abstract art form. What is it? It's hard to define. You can't, but like when you know it, you know it. Like when you see it,
we
you know
wanted
it.
to educate the general public too. Like that was also one of the
It was so
underlying
important
goals.
for them.
Yeah, just to like expand the education on like what this art form is for people who have no idea. Because you get it all the time. They see your arms, your biomech tattoos. They're like, oh, that's cool. What is it? Is it a lizard? Is it a dragon or something? Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, well, let me explain.
kinda
It's
all of them.
abstract. It's kind of like based on just simple shapes, and you know, can look like a dragon sometimes or a lizard, I guess, because it's green. But, so like we wanted to like use that
Abstract
as a
realism.
platform to like educate people, and also, you know, bring together, like you said, the artist community. I think it was the second show when it was like a big surprise. We had Jason Vogue, Gifford Caston, and Dan Hazelton drive in for the second show, and like those guys showed up, and it was like, what? All you guys in one car? That would have been an awesome car. So that was cool to see those guys. That was my first time meeting Dan too. Super rad dude. Nicole and I bought his painting that was submitted to the art show.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was really cool.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think
Patient, but
Mhm.
hoping for the future.
you know what? Just the right personal assistant might present themselves to help make this come to life. You
Yeah.
never know. Just simply throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some bio nerd will be like, "I'll help."
Yeah. I mean,
Well, they gotta be a
totally
nerd.
willing.
Oh,
Right.
I mean, with all the best.
Oh, the best.
All the
nerd
best.
intentions.
Right.
Yeah, like it takes a nerd to be organized enough to like do the things to like organize.
Hmm. Yeah. A lot of organization. A ton.
Yep. A little bit of delegation, though.
Yep. Goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I mean, it's just not feasible for me to take on that project by myself.
Mhm.
I can't.
On
Yeah,
top
I
of everything that I have
can't
going
imagine.
on.
Just as a just being a tattoo artist. Just
Yeah,
the
I
way we
already
have to
feel
work,
like
the way we
my
have to
workload's
got to
pretty
draw,
heavy.
then we got a tattoo.
Yeah.
That's drawing's usually a homework type thing. Takes
Mhm.
time.
It'd be hard to add in like, oh yeah, I just got to email 60 people right now.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah,
It's
Jesus.
just 60.
And
Yeah.
that's
They're
not
all
60.
individual. It's not a
60
blanket
emails
email.
isn't
Yeah.
60
Well,
emails.
yeah.
60 emails is 200 something emails plus probably because some of those people are going to keep sending stuff. Some of those
Got
people will want
questions,
to talk.
yeah.
That's their time to talk to you. Oh shit, now we got the line of communication. Let's talk a
Mhm.
few emails back and forth. But like, one email over 60 emails is 60 emails. One more email, 60 emails. One more email, 60.
Hmm.
That's why I
That's a
said,
lot.
anybody want to tattoo me? What do you do Thursday?
Yeah. Oh, I had to change my booking too. Like how I do my booking periods now is
Yeah.
also changed because before it was like I was on my email every day. Like I would check it in the morning, see who emailed me, respond to people. Everything would be super organic in conversation. But that was just too time consuming. So now it's 4 quarters of the year. I just base it off the seasons. So you got your winter, summer, spring, fall quarters. 1 week out of each quarter. So every 2 months. So August will be my next booking quarter. That first full week of August, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to respond to everyone who properly submitted a form through my website. And
Hold on, say that again. Everybody who what?
properly submitted a form through my website.
I just need to hear that one more time, please.
More time.
Properly submitted a form through my website.
There it is.
So what you're saying
that
is
was
if you
beautiful.
didn't
There's a process.
properly submit a form, you're probably not going to get any response at all.
It's kind of hard to mess that up, to
Okay.
be honest. 'Cause
A
it
lot of
books you
people
through.
struggle.
You'd
A
be
lot of
surprised.
people really struggle with
Yeah.
this.
So like, I mean, the biggest issue with that is like, there's a box that says description of the tattoo. I
Mhm.
don't allow to add any photo attachments because people kind of go a little crazy with that. And I also just want to base my first image in my brain of their idea based on words. I don't want to be like looking at other people's tattoos or
Mhm.
artwork and just kind of get distorted ideas that way. So there's no image attachments until emails later. And the description is basically in words what you want.
Mhm.
But you get people all the time. I want my left arm tattooed.
See, that's me.
It's
I
like,
don't care what you do. Tattoo
cool.
me.
So what do you want? Just like a sleeve.
All right, we're getting somewhere.
Next. So yeah, but basically I'll take that whole first week. I'll respond to mostly everybody. Like I'll admit, like I can't get to everybody because it's a lot. Once I fill up all the available slots I have, then it's like the rest of those emails are like, either you're getting put on a wait list and you might get in this booking period, you might not, or I'm not interested in this concept. Here's a list of people that might be.
Mhm.
So, and that's like
I love
80
the
to 100
recommendation.
emails.
I
Yeah.
love the recommendation. That's
Mhm.
that's nice. Sorry, I can't help. Here's people that can.
Yeah, I don't want to leave
Like,
people high and
Nope,
dry.
I love it. I love it. I
Like
love it.
let them move on at least, so they're
Yeah.
not just sitting in dead
Mhm.
water just waiting. It's like I sorry,
Right.
I can't get to everybody.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
It's
the
nice
more
to-
we grow as an artist, the more we have to deal with that and face the real problem of like, is this feasible? Like, how do I
Mhm.
feasibly make this something I can integrate into my life properly? Because we stress ourselves out over it for years, and it's not a stressor until it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's all good, everything's super smooth, and then it's all of a sudden, shoot, we got tons of emails. I got no time to get through these
Yeah.
emails right now.
I stopped
Or
doing
the
in-person
60 email
consults.
type thing. You got 60 emails to go through. That's 120.
You don't do
That's
in-person
120,
consults at all?
180.
No.
Walk
Really?
me through that, because my in-person consult has evolved to like an hour and a half process.
Yeah. So I used to be the same way. And I enjoyed it. Like I liked meeting people. I liked getting to know them, asking some questions. I would even make some notes on that. So like when we saw them again, like I could bring up those conversations again. But it was very time consuming,
Mhm.
and not all the time you would spend that hour talking to these people that they would commit to the tattoo. So it's like, okay, well, I know other people that have cut this out. I know Teresa Sharp doesn't do insults or in-person consults.
Insults.
She definitely does
might
insults.
insult
So I was like, well, if she's able to cut it out, like there's a possibility I can cut them out too, you know? And that's where the website comes in. It just basically like runs you through what you would ask during a consultation, and you would just go down the list and fill out that form. And if I can't figure out your tattoo from that amount of information, then there's a good chance I'm not going to figure it out in person. But like you said earlier, sometimes that's where the difference is. Some people struggle, you know, describing their tattoos via words or whatever. And sometimes you need that in-person consultation.
Mhm.
So I probably miss out on a few clients here and there. But,
Well, here's something I like to remind
When your
people
time's
of.
that booked, it's, you know, you can only do so much.
Mhm.
You can only do so much. And, you know,
When I first started talking to Adam about doing my leg, he turned me down the first few times. So I had to like rethink, you know, and reapproach the idea. And like my idea was so vague that like finally when it was like, okay, here's the inspiration I'm thinking, and I know you're the one to do it. And I just showed him like macro photos of like organic floral elements. And he was like, oh, he was like, I thought you wanted like a leg sleeve of flowers. I was like, no, I want like a leg sleeve of like the cellular structure of a stem.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Word.
Like yes, organic, yes, floral, but so close up, almost abstract. And it was just like,
yep.
Yeah.
that's what he needed,
Clicked.
was like seeing like, this is what I'm thinking. Like, it's this vague. I can't tell you like how I picture it or how I arrange it or I imagine it arranged, but like these inspiration photos. Oh, well, that looks like alien anyways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I can see how that makes a difference.
So sometimes if you don't hear back from your artist, or, you know, you do get referred to somebody else, or, you know, you hear like, I'm not interested in this idea, but like you're still drawn, like you still know, like, no, that's who I want to do this, like this project. That's the only one that can do it. Like, be politely persistent and like understand that like sometimes it might just take a while for one imagination to cross paths with the other imagination at the same moment. And like, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Definitely don't take it personal.
Yeah.
But, you know, as artists, we're all chasing different goals. So we want clients that are chasing the same goals as us.
And those goals change
Right.
periodically. So
Yep,
like
that's
maybe
exactly the point.
last week I wasn't into said subject, and then the following month I am. So like sometimes it just takes time.
Yeah, I'm definitely the guy that's walked in and be like, hey, I have this really big blank space. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of times it's an artist trust, and you're just kind of like, I want what you're into. I'm flexible because I've never seen. I don't get tattooed by people I don't know. No, I don't. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. I don't really go through a lot of like email consultation processes.
Yeah.
So I walked up to Rich Cook and I was like, I want you to tattoo my back. And he was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, my back tattooed. Well, give me some. No, man, I want you to be excited about the project. I want you to put what you want down. So when there is that level of trust with an artist, there's a freedom to be able to just be like, I want water. Go. You know, but it's hard when you're filtering through, I don't want to say general population, but like I couldn't imagine having to interpret somebody else's vision onto paper. I couldn't imagine the process of reaching into somebody else's brain to try to pull their image out of what they're thinking, especially on the level of what you do. Everything you do is so hyper detailed and so like
It's hard.
I couldn't
you know?
describe to you what
Yeah.
I would want from you because I would, you know what I mean? I understand that block, even in person. I'd rather just be like,
That's the whole ball
you
game.
got
I
like
feel
a
like
cool idea you've been wanting to
Yeah.
do.
I mean, that's kind of what I look
Blast
for
it.
in those like descriptions of tattoos that people want. Like,
Right.
it's like maybe the description of what they want is vague, but then they'll end it
Keywords.
with like, I'm totally willing to like collect whatever style you want to do this in, or, you know, like have at it. You know, I'm
I
willing to give you
want
free
what
reign.
you want. Yeah.
Like, I want this to be your tattoo as much as mine. Anything that's giving me more liberty and freedom to make sure that like they're comfortable getting the things that I like to do.
Mhm.
That relieves a lot of the pressure.
I feel
Because-
that entirely.
If you're seeking out an artist, it's because you're hyped on that, and so I would have a hard time telling you what I would want you to do.
You definitely get a lot
Do you
of,
know what I mean?
but like
Yeah.
as tattoo
Yeah.
artists, like Ben, I get like, you've probably seen it a million times with other artists too, but you just get a lot of clients who like, they seek you out for your art, but then they like don't put a lot of confidence in you, like off the bat, like they're really questionable about
yeah.
everything. And it's like you came to me for my art right now. You're questioning every stroke that I'm doing, everything that I'm doing. It's like, why, what's your, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just let me do the project. I know Fawn's dealt with this a few times lately as well.
Clients questioning your tattoos.
We were halfway through the project even.
Oh,
like-
that sounded like a nightmare. It was so bad.
I don't-
Also,
tell me.
also,
Tell me.
Give me the good stuff.
also said client didn't even do her share of the homework. So I had to like, she had since December to get me reference pictures of her animals that she wanted to include in her tattoos. You live with them every single day. You couldn't get me some videos or photos between December and now. And now you second guess the way I'm going to draw them off of the references I had to find that you didn't do your half of the homework for. There was another whole frustrating part, but I don't want to get too specific about the
But was that
project.
explained?
Yeah, I feel
did
that.
You,
Yeah,
were
I
you able to
understand.
like kind of get that across? Like that was important for her to do and it wasn't done?
It was the only homework she had.
It's
And it's her-
the one
it's
job.
her
One
project.
job, yeah.
You had, and this thing that is more important to you than it is to me, you had one thing to do. And you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And now you question everything.
Yeah.
That I do.
Yeah.
Nice, Sam.
I'm huge and I'm a bull. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Good. Those prongs sticking out are no good. But yeah, I felt your pain for that. Don't want you to go too much in detail. We don't want to pick on anyone in specific.
I had been drawing on her for like 2 hours.
I felt Fawn's
and then
pain.
she
I
was
go in
like,
there
I
and
really
Fawn was
don't
kinda
like this
red-faced.
element. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
so like everything is like designed off of that element. So if I change that, then how do I imply this? And she was like, oh, well, I don't know. How do you do it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm asking you. Like, if I change that element, how do I tell the story in the same way? Like, and I was like waiting for an answer. Like, okay, you don't like what's here, but this makes sense to the rest of the story that we're telling and why. So
And it's harder
do
when
you
they
see
can't.
do you see a better
Yeah.
way to do
Yeah.
it?
I
Do you
remember
see
walking in there like
do you
it was
see
like 2.5,
something I don't
3
see?
hours later. Like I was
like all
oh,
she could
dang,
tell
you guys
me
were
was
still
that
drawing.
what she didn't like, and I would be like, well, like
What's
But,
the
like,
other half? Like, what
what
do
do
you
you-
like?
yeah,
What do you want
what-
to see? Give me some
if
input.
this
Right.
isn't how you imagine it, how do you imagine it?
Mm-hmm.
So what we ended up doing is I just ended up pulling some pictures off of like some other fantasy art that I found on Google, searching such and such, fantasy art, fantasy realm, blah, and then superimposed that with some other stuff and called it a day. Where it could have been like rad and freehand, like the whole rest of her project.
You could have had calamari, but no.
Oh, it's still calamari.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
you know
like
what I mean, though.
reheated. It's
Yeah,
just reheated.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Moral of the story: trust put trust in your artists, seek them out, spend the time to seek them out. And when you find that person, don't question every step of the process,
Yeah.
but give them some input. If you like totally hand the reins over, hell yeah. But like a keyword, just like something, push in a direction, even if that direction is, I just want it all to go like that.
When I
Yeah.
when I talked to Kevin about doing my leg, the email said, "I would like you to tattoo my leg with a snake and some water." He replied,
Oh, are you
Okay.
you mean the leg sleeve that just won what award?
"Oh,
Which one?
the best Japanese tattoo at the Villain Arts Festival on the specific day that I was there." Woo woo! Congrats, Kevin.
Yep. Good job, Kevin.
Drop your shit off. So yeah, that one.
Mhm.
Award-winning tattoo.
There you
I've
go.
never had that clout in my life.
Look at your new
Whoa.
level of clout, Ben.
I'm gonna be all smug about
Clout.
it. But you see that? I won prizes. But
We did recently upgrade Ben from guest status to
Yeah.
correspondent.
Mhm.
So Ben is
pumped.
one day it'll be like field correspondent. He'll be
Field
tuning in from his iPhone from somewhere random. He'll be like, "Yo, I'm in the Duke station."
I found this guy with a really sweet tattoo. Check it.
That might be cool on the streets. You know, you
Yep.
never know what you might run
Ben
into.
on the streets.
I don't like the ring of that at all. I'm just gonna be honest.
We'll
Like,
come up with a better
yeah,
slogan.
men on the streets might not be the best.
It's okay. We'll
name.
spell it with a Z on the
The
edge.
streets. Okay, I mean,
Great.
the Z changed my mind.
Good, good.
Can we spell it Screet?
Yeah,
The K?
you can't. I'm sorry. Pretty flexible. That's where I draw the line.
That's
I mean,
borderline racism.
Nice job, Sam.
borderline, so it's still okay. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm
Is that
just
what you're telling
kidding.
me?
I'm joking.
It's implied racism. It's fine. I'm kidding.
You're not woke enough. Spiritually tired.
When people get competitive over who's the wokest.
I'm the most
Right.
The best.
Are you woke or are you tired?
I don't know. I
Spiritually
didn't know it
tired.
was a contest, bro.
You haven't woke. You haven't went through the awakening.
Oh, I'm past that game. If
You
you're
haven't
still
taken the red
playing, you
pill?
ain't woke enough.
You haven't taken the red pill.
You know what? I took this like hot pink and purple pill over here. It was like
Pink and yellow, purple
razzleberry or
pills.
something like that.
Ooh.
I think it was the right choice. It
Ooh.
was the right
Is
choice.
that like 40
Eminem,
mil?
Eminem would love
I
that.
don't know.
Was that like 40 mil? 50 mil? What you rocking over there? Can I get a bite? Like-
Definitely wouldn't be the blue or the red pill. I'd be like, you want me to put what where?
You want me to take one of those pills?
I guess it would depend
What?
on.
I don't know
I
you.
don't-
You don't love me.
I guess
You
it would have
don't-
depended on what stage of my life you asked me that question in. I mean, if you asked me in my early 20s which one I'm taking, I probably crunched both of them, snorted it, just see what happened. So you never know.
Yeah, but in my
Is
life,
both an
I'm too
option?
skeptic of everybody.
Nathan, if you
both an
found out we're
option.
living in a matrix simulation and you got choosing, if you're given the option to go to the shit fuck ass machine world or live in the matrix and just live this lifestyle, what would you do?
Live in the Matrix
Yeah, me too.
for sure.
Me too. Fuck yeah,
There's
all day.
steak here. There's like
Yeah,
parties
right.
and,
I can still
mean,
tattoo and draw and paint here.
I'm all right with it.
Painting's not as important when the machines are taking over.
Maybe see you get all that shit on the other side, like on demand. You just get to plug into a badass restaurant and eat your steak and
Right.
browns.
But you guys can harvest my
I'm all
energy.
about
Just
it.
like
I wanna
be a
fight
homie.
fight some old robots.
Just be a
and shit.
friend.
But you got to battle them.
They want to kill you. They
Bro,
don't want
everybody-
You're not on top of the food chain anymore. So like you're gonna put yourself into the situation where like now you got to fight for your life.
AKA woke.
Yeah. Do you really want to be
But
woke?
I mean,
That's
you
the
know,
question.
No, I mean, everybody dies. I guess it's just what you're in for, you know. I'd fight
It's a hard
machines.
decision. It's a hard decision because a part of me would definitely be like, I want to know and I want to fight the machines. Fuck that.
Is there a
Fuck the
option
machines.
where
But
we
there's
can
a
just,
huge
like-
part of me like I want to be a machine.
I tell you what, when this day happens,
I'm
I'm gonna be
telling
like, I told you guys to be polite to Siri.
I will totally integrate into the machine world. So when the machines start taking over, like I'll be one.
Is there?
I'll try not to betray
any.
anybody, but I'll be the one who's trying to bring everyone together.
Like,
You're
can
gonna
we
get
just
the chip.
Can we fight machines
the
for
chip?
a little bit
Yeah.
and then go back to being?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know what a chip.
Men in Black Flash.
The
If I could upload my brain to something or like a new
Neuralink.
body.
Neuralink? You're gonna do
Neuralink,
that?
Neuralink myself into like a bad, like anything, another body, anything I could create. Could be a
Might
spider
within
body,
5 years.
could be a drone body.
That's super rad idea. That's like the idea of implied intelligence on top of a imprinted pattern. Because you got to think like all the data of your life is going to have a pattern at some point. They have to figure out how you would continue to think and react, right? That's the whole point.
What if through Neuralink we could travel through other people's memories?
Oh, fuck all that. Stay out my head.
Well, I think
These are the
That's-
reasons I don't know if I
that's-
subscribe.
I think
Like,
that's the
y'all
thing.
can play with that.
things
I'm
might be
gonna
able to.
cheer you on, but from over here. I don't know if I want to
The-
be linked up.
What's going to be crazy though is like that's what's going to cause so many problems.
Could you imagine?
Because you're going to have people that do that, and then like, but then you're going to have radicals, and you're going to have people that are totally against it. But then you're going to have literally a superhuman race of people that are part of them that are going to create the machine world for sure.
So
If
what
you're,
about
like,
this?
If you can upload your brain to
This got
something and
weird
be
fast.
part of some sort of neuro internet where we can like connect and telepathically
What
talk
if there
and
were
things,
NFTs
People that
that you
aren't a
could
part of that
only access through
are going to be left
Neuralink?
behind. What?
What if there were NFTs that you could only access through Neuralink to make it even more exclusive and uncopyable and
new level of
untangible at the same time?
Corporate advertising and bullshit.
Call me Captain Caveman.
Be like,
You're
future
gonna
Mammoth, where
embed
they're-
that. You're gonna
and
embed
hunt
the
fucking
advertisement
salmon,
in
like,
my
fuck you
brain
guys.
instead of just showing it to me. You're actually gonna hardwire embed it.
That's where.
Ooh, it gets scary.
That's some touchy water because I don't like any of that. I don't like there and being anyone having any control of it. I only want more control, but also to be a part of like something bigger and to be connected to
I
something
need
that's
more
going to make
control
me more
and less control.
right.
Well, everything
More
and nothing at the
blankets
same
and
time.
less blankets.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think that that's a lot of data to process. If you're talking about like actually creating those patterns for each individual, like the processing power of that is what scares me. Like how much space it takes to do like Facebook.
Yeah,
Think
the,
about
the
doing
huge
like
servers,
actual
less
people.
the
and
servers
less
and the
stuff.
energy
Do you know
and
what
the
I mean?
cooling that
Yeah.
it takes. Well, there has to be a huge up. There's a
They
lot.
just-
It's going to
they
take a lot
just-
of energy to contain the memories of
They
people.
just built the Facebook place in just outside of New Albany. Like it's humongous and it's all just data processing. It's
The future of Facebook's really wild.
humongous.
Because the future of Facebook's gonna be virtual reality, and that's what they're trying to step into. They bought Oculus, and they're making like a full Facebook Oculus thing, and it's like all Mark Zuckerberg talks about now.
What's it
And,
going
like-
to be like Ready Player One, where like we all meet up at this?
I
thing
think
and-
that's like ultimately
You're
what
saying
his
we
goal
could
is.
meet up not in person for this podcast.
Well, we could do that right now.
Shit.
So we'd
VR
be
chat.
having like
We
just
could both
Zoom
be in a
meeting,
dope little room.
but we'd all be able to touch the plasma ball at the same time still.
I don't know.
The virtual plasma ball.
Yeah.
See, I don't think it'd be the same. I can't feel your energy through the virtual plasma ball.
That's exactly the thing that's going to be
And it gives you a headache after
All
like
these things make
10,
me sad.
15, after like 10, 15 minutes, it gives you a headache.
Everything you
Oculus
just said
does?
just made me sad.
What?
That they take that personal connection out of things you do. Like
But like you,
So sad.
why would you take it out? You add it. You add an extra layer. You don't
absolutely.
remove the layer.
But
You
like-
don't say let's only do that. Let's add to the areas where let's fill the voids. So like say we
People-
can't say we're like Zoom meeting and all that. What if we could do that like be in this personal space
right.
because of that? So adding to it as opposed to so like Facebook so like fucking drawn out. But what if you're rating? Oh man, that's gonna be some chaotic grounds.
Could
Was
you
Facebook
imagine
where your
like
peop-
sneaky
everyone's
people
running
trying
around
to
like
have
mad
Facebook
people?
affairs?
I don't even know.
It'd be like hidden, sneaky, ducked off corners in these make believe libraries.
I think it's gonna be fun, and it's some fucking crazy waters. I'm such a proponent of the technology, but I think all the bad things exist there, and all the bad things can happen.
I just think that if you look at the depression rate since people have been crammed in their house through COVID and the amount of
Mhm.
people that have dove into that no need to have other contacts because they can get all fulfilled through the internet and lose that personal connection. We're all pretty social. We deal with public, you know what I mean? Like, but someone that is that kind of recluse can get everything they need off the internet and is going to stay in their house until they die. And
Yeah, hopefully we can.
that stuff scares me.
Right, that's why I feel. I mean, I just think better education and being smarter with technology. The more we can teach people to be smarter with
I
technology,
agree.
because I completely agree with you there. There's people that are just don't. have the mental fortitude to be able to handle technology,
Right.
because all those bad things exist in it, and all the bad patterns of addiction and the bad patterns of being a fucking asshole and the bad patterns of just vicariously living lives that, you know, just being trolls and being shitty people,
Yeah.
just affecting other people's lives. They all exist there. And if everyone's in a big virtual reality, they're still, all those things are going to exist times a million. Everything's going to be
So
a whole
I
new
watched this
level of
movie
that.
yesterday called Spree,
But the good things are
on,
there too.
I believe, Amazon Prime. But anyways, this guy was, instead of Uber, it was called Spree, but he was a Spree driver, and he was also like trying to be like a social media influencer. So he had like cameras all over his cars, and his followers like questioned whether like what he was making was real or not. But he was like poisoning the water bottles, and then he'd be like, "You gotta tuck the water in the back of the seat." Da, 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 da. So then the people would pass out. Then he'd stash the bodies. One thing led to another. All of this is on the trailer. I haven't spoiled anything. But it was pretty crazy. And it was like on the whole dark side of like this inner like the instant connectivity and the instant, like, I'm just going live to get followers. I want to get in the double digits. Now that I'm in the double digits, I want to like have this person shout me out so I can get into the triple digits. And like, once I get into the triple digits, like, I got to get this next person to shout me out. So this guy like basically turns into a lightweight stalker and creepy spree
Addictions.
driver.
Addiction.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
like,
Deep into the social addiction.
it was just like all of the dark possibilities that could happen from these cool things that make it so easy for us to get together and like influence one another and share knowledge and share products. And like, it was the dark side of it. But it was a pretty crazy movie. It was better. I put it on as background noise, but actually ended up like watching it.
Right.
It's interesting.
I feel like the people dishing out the social media, the so-called drug dealers in this
Mhm.
scenario, I mean, they're doing their part to it as far as like making it harder for us to get off or disconnect. Because like, I don't use Snapchat. I have it on my phone. I have an account and everything. I probably get a notification every day or every other day, like, hey, so-and-so made a post.
Right.
Want to check it out?
Same
It's
deal
just like
over here.
constant notifications, like, come use me,
Mhm.
come open me up.
A nudge.
Yeah, just these nudges constantly. It's
Right.
like,
Hey, haven't seen you in a little while.
yeah, where you been, bud? Come
Yeah.
on over.
You got all these people that need to hear from you. All your
Mhm.
friends. What are you doing? Not being social. You
Yeah.
must talk to
Missed
people.
something.
You have to deal with the world and let all the darkness in. You got to. You got to.
Notifications.
Everyone misses you. Come on. Come on Facebook. Come all over here in Facebook. We want to. We need you
Hold
over
on.
here.
Hold on.
Come over to MySpace so I can Twitter your Yahoo so you can go on my Facebook.
Exactly. That's the poll.
Oh, that's been the poll
That's
since
the
like,
poll.
99. Where you guys?
No, yeah. Every direction they can.
Mhm.
Try to
and
get
it's
you in.
and it's one of those things. It's like that FOMO. You feel like you're missing something by not keeping up and not paying attention. And I try to abstain from social media, and I still probably spend an hour and a half a day just staring at other people's shit, not even liking, saying a word, but just
Mhm.
you
Right.
feel the need to be involved in that because it triggers all those responses in your brain that you're receiving information. And when you habitually learn to receive information through this,
Then you
little
think it's
lit
relevant
up box,
that you're seeing everybody's life.
not only that, it's the casino effect.
So here's
it's
a funny
bells
thing.
and lights and whistles and receiving that.
Just
Yeah.
information. Your brain doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
It gives.
right,
It's just like a
right.
blank TV. You know. It's just
Mhm.
like it gives your mind something to see. And then you're like, why am
And
I
I
looking
haven't-
at this person?
haven't
I
touched
don't
it.
even know this person.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't even know you.
I'm 3 pages deep on somebody
I
else's
don't
shit. Like,
care
who-
about you.
who
What's
cares?
going on
an
with you and your
example of
family?
like how quick it can like flip to negative. I pride myself on like keeping my Instagram, like I curate it, you know, like I have like, I follow other artists that I want to follow. I follow a bunch of geology pages, travel pages. Like, it's really things that I'm into, and like, you know, not necessarily a person, but like maybe a photographer or like things that I'm genuinely into. But like, you know, I follow a lot of tattooers and stuff that I look up to, and as well as like tattooers that like I'm a cheerleader for them. And somebody made a post, and it was just kind of like, you know, from the post, I could tell they were frustrated by like clients, you know, how like sometimes there will be a client or two that's a squeaky wheel. But anyways, I was like trying to be a cheerleader, like, no, like, stick to your guns, you're worth every penny, like, and I believe they took it very sarcastically because their comment was very like, like either I'm taking this wrong or he took what I wrote wrong. And it was one of those like, man, I was just, and I DM'd him, but I was like, hey, I hope you didn't take my message wrong. You know, I genuinely meant to encourage. You know, it wasn't sarcastic. Like, you're worth every penny and
There's
stand
no
your ground.
inflection in
Yeah.
text.
Yeah. So it's just a funny example of like, I was like, you go, like, and
Right.
what I got back was like, how do you even know what you're talking about? I just got off a da 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 da, and it was just like defensive, and it was like, no, I think
was
you took that
agreeing
the
with
wrong
you.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I was in your corner cheering for you there, buddy. I was saying you were worth every
Well,
cent.
Hot water
So-
boils faster too. So when somebody's already upset about something in implication,
But I think
It's
somebody in the
text,
corner
it's
being
hard.
like, right,
Right,
would
right.
be like,
Sometimes it
It's
gets
hard.
lost through text.
Yeah, it's
too.
hard.
Yeah.
it's hard.
yeah. But that's just the example of like even the best intentions online, and no matter how good you are at filtering what you say, or like something can still be taken wrong. Where
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
even rereading my comment, it's like, how did he take it that way? Unless he thought I was being sarcastic. And no, it was not sarcasm at all. It was like genuine.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Would one
The-
more
the
smiley
converse-
face made you believe me?
The conversation after the DM, everything
Yeah,
was
I'm
clear,
sure.
and there were no hurt feelings or anything on either end, I believe. So it's just an example of like how it can go from like, oh, well, I didn't even have to comment at all, but I wanted to throw some positive energy your way, and it turned into this like awkward, like, like I kind of
Oh,
look up to
okay.
him, and I don't want him to think that I was being a sarcastic douche.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
but
That happens a lot with client contacts too. They'll send you a text message and you put your mood on it, and you're like, "What?" And you go to call them, and you're like, "Oh, this wasn't even an issue."
Yeah.
You're
Right.
just checking in. Oh, okay, yeah, everything's fine. Thanks. Have a good day. Sorry, I'm a dick.
It
apologize
happens.
a lot. I apologize a lot.
But that it's also just a reminder to be patient with one another and not to
mhm.
assume things. But then when it comes to the interwebs and interactions, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't let it
Yeah.
sink in.
Yeah.
Don't think it's real life, man.
Yeah.
Like even other artists,
You
like
can
we can
take
look up
things
to
so
other
wrong that it's
artists'
just
work,
text.
but like we've all judged competitions. So we've seen artists' work where like on Instagram it looks phenomenal, and then you get up close and it's like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
I would have expected a little bit more.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
like, it looked great on 4 inches, but
Mhm.
now that it's in real life, okay.
Those filters are gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real life is always just a little bit different. So even if
Well-
you're like comparing yourself to an artist who's you think is just impossible to match what they're doing, like just remember it's a 4-inch screen and like it's not real life.
And most tattoo photos are taken right after the tattoo. They're at their most crisp. The highlights are the brightest. Might be a little bit swollen red sometimes, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but like a lot of times right after tattooing, sometimes that's lost a little bit in the heel.
Yeah.
If you've got a rough heel and you lose some of that finer stuff, that's not the artist's fault.
Mhm.
That's you. that's your skin type. That's how you took care of your tattoo. So a lot of times after heel, tattoos look I don't want to say way different, but have a slight different look to them.
Tattoos settle and they age.
Super fresh. Yeah, they
I
get
think that's
lighter
part
as
of
they
it.
settle.
Yeah, I think it's part of the magic of tattoos, and I think artists that are far enough along and conscious enough of it are gonna work in such a way that like
Thank you.
how it settles
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
part of the plan.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Instead of fighting the settle and like expecting it and hoping and praying that it stays like a Xerox of the brand new tattoo, like plan for it to like, oh no, I used boulder lines here because they're going to settle in this way, and that line that'll do this. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, this area doesn't have a hard line because it's going to settle and look like this. And then you see that work in 6 months and it's like, oh yes,
Yep.
all of those plans worked. And then you see it in 6 years and it's like, oh yes.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
Right.
And then you see it at 10 years and 11 years. I can't,
Mhm.
I've only been tattooing that long, but then you see it and it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why I use a lot of open skin.
hmm
And
Let that skin breathe and be part of it.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So do you have any new work planned that you want to get into, or any ideas that you're kicking around? Because you've still got a lot of open space.
I do.
You have a lot of open skin. How old are you?
33.
You are a baby still. You got plenty of time to collect
The
more
man in
work.
his 30s, you just
Yeah,
called him
man,
a baby.
man.
He's not a baby.
Well, in the
My back
tattoo
says
collecting
different.
game, in the tattoo collecting game,
Yeah.
like, you know, it gets more
Sure.
painful the older you get. So
For
like I
sure.
feel like the 30s is like the window where like
Yeah,
we want to get it
we
done.
wrapping this shit up.
Yeah, that's Ben's goal.
I'm about done.
I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna be pretty much covered by the time I'm 40. I mean, I didn't specifically have goals, but I just have so little skin left.
Do you know what I'm super thankful for? The advancement in numbing creams. I'm just gonna
It
say
is getting nice, huh?
I know
Nice
that some
little head
artists
starts.
have mixed reviews on these things, but I'm old and curmudgeon-y, and if I can
Curmudgeon-y.
get an hour and a half of not feeling a tattoo, now that's an hour and a half of tattoo, and we wouldn't have got it done that day because I'm a jerk, and everybody reacts to them different. Some people I don't recommend they use, but for me, I'm coming in nuts.
I think if you're someone who's prone to saying "ow" during your tattoo, hey, I'm cool with you putting some numbing stuff on beforehand, as long as we're not stenciling.
right,
If we're stenciling, not a chance.
right.
But I don't mind using it for sure, especially if someone's down to like buy the bottle, you get a $50 bottle of like Zens or $30 bottle of Zens or whatever. Yeah, let's load you the fuck up.
Did you
Yeah.
see that we have little bottles of Zenza now in the warehouse?
I did not know that.
They're little tiny bottles.
No more keeping in my refrigerator with my butter for 6 weeks.
I mean, I don't
twice.
know how much they are. I didn't look at that, but they're little tiny bottles now.
I know that when they first came out, they made your skin a little bit of a different texture, and I know a couple different brands have different reactions to the skin. If it sucks, tell us. I don't tattoo. You got to tell me. But me personally, I'm just like, I'll take that head start. Let me settle in. Let me get comfortable. It's all gonna suck at some point. Don't get me wrong. It's
Right,
getting
but
tattooed.
I
let you
think the
step
trick is
step
to,
into it a little bit, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
mentally using it as the head start. That's the trick.
Yeah.
That's the magic. You got to know it's just like a little bit of a head start, and it's gonna wear off, and you're still gonna experience
Yeah,
it. Like
and I'm
you can't
totally
expect an
cool with
entire
that.
long session to be numb.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to be clear of when I use them with people. Like we're going to use these in like the very worst areas, and we'll use it to like maybe
Right.
start off a section, or like after a long break we might use it. But like it's only a head start. How do you feel? Do you feel the same way, or do you try to stay away from them altogether?
I'm a little indifferent. I get the idea of giving the client some time to breathe and just continue to work. Like when they've been going through a rough patch or something, and you're able to apply something. That's great, and I'll use Bactine all day long. I've only used pre-numb on myself once, and I didn't like it. I prefer to let my body settle into getting tattooed, as opposed to like starting off not feeling anything and then it hitting me all at once, because then it's like a shock to my system.
That makes
Yeah,
sense
that's
too.
usually
That
my
makes sense
that's
too.
usually my theory on it.
So like I can, with just breathing, relaxing my muscles, like it sucks for the first 10 to 20 minutes, but then I can find a zone where like I get really comfortable and relaxed, and then I can pretty much zone it out for the most part, depending on where we're at, for the majority of the tattoo, until we get to like hour 5 or 6, and then I'm like, my body's like, all right, we pretty much had enough of this, so we're gonna
Hour
start to
5,
shake.
I'm done most of the time. Like we might be able to push it an extra couple. Don't get me wrong, but like mentally,
5 hours is a good day.
5 hours. I'm
Mhm.
like, that's chair time, not
Yeah.
break time. That's chair time. But I'm about over it at that point.
Yeah.
Number
Over
nine.
Yeah.
it.
Like
Mhm.
number 9.
Yeah. So, and everyone's skin's different too. So
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
I'm prone to keloids. I used it last with my chest, and it like worked great for 30 minutes, but then it wore off, and then we tried to reapply because I was chasing that numb. I was just like, I want that first 30
Chasing
minutes
that
for
numb
3 hours.
dragon.
Like that was great, but just couldn't get it. And then I think for me personally, and my skin type, it caused a little bit heavier scabbing with an artist that I have a ton of work from and has never scabbed before.
Mhm.
So I only had one different variable in the situation, and that was the numbing cream. So those scabs kind of got
Were you
flaked off
using the
prematurely.
Canada paste?
Zenza.
Was it Zenza?
hmm
I used the Canada paste, and I've used Zenza. I was just curious which one you were using.
But it caused a little heavier scabbing for me personally. And after that, I was just like a little iffy about my clients using it.
You said it. You hit the nail on the head. everybody's skin is different.
Yeah, and I don't know how to
Everybody's
determine
body's
who's going to
different.
react how.
Mhm.
So
it's
until I
fine,
can
yeah.
figure that out, like I'm a little apprehensive.
Mhm.
But back team all day.
Yeah.
I feel like the new Bactine Max, it's so good. Like the burn is a little bit more intense, but once that burn like subsides and cools off, golden.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So good.
Bactine Max is good. I'll like occasionally if I've got like 30 minutes to an hour left on the tattoo and they're just not having it, I'm like, but we can finish this in an hour. Like I'll pull out the Vasecaine sometimes and spray that on.
Now that's the one I've had the worst reactions to.
Yeah, I
So
stopped-
that's
I stopped
definitely a
using
last resort
Vasecaine.
kind of.
Yeah, it's always last resort, but I've had people say the same thing. I mean, it's doing the same thing. It's just cutting off those surface capillaries and
Yep.
prolonging the heel start. So, but yeah, very occasionally.
Yeah, I've definitely used it a lot. Used it for years.
I mean, there's
With
numbing-
Bactine and that, and using Vasecaine once it started, like, when I was like, I know this is gonna numb this area.
Right.
Like, oh, you're feeling it even with the Bactine. Okay, well, this
Yeah.
isn't gonna, when people are really having that hard time. But I really realized that for the most part, Bactine's doing the same thing. I don't need anything that much stronger than it. $50 a bottle. Like,
There are so many tricks to
not
use
dogging on Vasecaine,
Bactine
but
to make it more effective. Like
yeah,
a couple of things that I do. I've had clients ask, "Why are you pushing on me?" It's like, "Oh, I've saturated this in Bactine and I'm like pushing it into the open
Sucking
tattoo.
it
I'm like,
numb, huh?
I'm pushing in the feel good stuff." Sometimes I feel like applying that little bit of pressure and just keeping the wet paper towel there, it doesn't burn. If you just hold it there for like 15, 20 seconds while you're like rinsing the needle, changing colors or whatever, just like hold it there. Sometimes I feel like that like pushes a little bit more in and makes it a little bit more effective.
Yeah.
The other thing is I like to tell everybody about this. You've been worked on by Guy, but like, how like he'll like spray you in Bactine and just like do like smear it around with his gloves and like rub it in with his fingertips rather than even like using the paper towel at all. Like that's actually like more to wipe it off after he's pushed it in all of the open skin. So those two tricks with the Bactine were kind of game changers and really made it a lot more effective.
That I'll do that, and then sometimes I'm able to like spray them down and then wrap them in saran wrap and let that soak in.
Yep,
for like
that
20 minutes.
Was really helpful on one of the sessions on my kneecap.
Yeah,
we did it like Adam saturated a paper towel, folded it in half, and then saran wrapped that right around the very tippy toe of my knee.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah, because then
we
it
just
doesn't
went
evaporate.
out. Yep, we had a quick smoke break, came back in, and it was only like a 10-minute window of numb, but it was like enough for him to get in there and do the darkest darks and the brightest brights, and we were done for the day. So that worked out really, really well.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of little tricks with it, and Bactine is cheap. I think it's like $8 or $10 a bottle, depending on where you get it. Maybe it's less. But for the comfort level, I go through at least half a bottle every tattoo. Sometimes a bottle and a half or 2 bottles. But like for the level of comfort. For the level
I
of
like
comfort.
I use it as my water basically. I
Mhm.
just dip in that, and then over time, tattoo just gets nice and numb.
I'll take it.
Right.
Appreciates it.
Takes the edge off.
It's not the answer. It's not, you know what I mean? Like going in numb's not going to get you through the whole
There's no
thing,
answer. It's gonna hurt.
We've all been
Yeah.
tattooed
We gotta
without it
figure out
before we were
the
tattooed
mental,
with it.
For sure.
the mental systems to be able to deal with that pain. Just like what Nathan was saying, like going into it and like figuring out your system of like mentally being able to deal with this. At its, fucking hurts a lot. Deal with it for a little while. Figure out those ways. Being like, all right, well, if I breathe like this, if I do this, I kind of think this way. You figure out your mental ways of just being able to chill, meditate, whatever you need to do to get through it.
Lots of smoke breaks is that answer.
Definitely.
It hurts, but I think it's kind of adds to the specialness too.
Yeah.
Like I kind of earned the things that I wear on my body because
I
I
feel
went
like-
through a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's doing that spiritual thing though in your brain that works.
You're actually transforming with the pain as you're achieving the little
Right,
mark.
you're
that goes
pushing
with
yourself and
Mhm.
you're doing something that's like extremely hard. Like
Mhm.
it's a lot easier to just be like, I'm done. But of course you're forced to do it because you want this whole piece, but at the same time, it's all still a choice.
Yeah.
And you're still facing that choice. It's something you have to do, and it's fucking gonna hurt. It's gonna be a journey of
Commitment
pain.
sucks.
So you're facing so many of these like just real life things. I feel like
Yeah.
face to face with it. So I feel like feeling the pain is good on that sense, but I'm all for like relieving the pain for my clients as much as I can. If I can make this easier for you, that's awesome, without too much detriment to me. Like
I just feel
I'm
like-
not gonna buy you a $50 bottle
If you're
of
if you're
of Zenza.
tattooing the outside of your bicep
You got it.
and it's your first one, go in there and get it. You know what I mean? Like, get your tattoo, earn it, feel it. Like, it's
Mhm.
not that big of a deal. When you're tattooing the back of your knee, rub some fucking cream on that shit. Like, you in my armpit? That armpit is gonna be numb.
yeah, and even with
Yeah.
that stuff, it's still gonna hurt. So
Yes.
it's like if you can take the edge off, I
save
get
it for
it.
when it matters. I mean,
But
I don't.
Please don't come in. I'm gonna turn you away if you come in with it already soaked in stuff. If I got to wrap a stencil on it,
Yeah.
if I have to put a stencil on you and you come in and I got to sit and do a bunch of line work over it,
It's gonna be worn off before you even get the needle
Yeah.
in the skin.
yep,
It's not
gonna be
worth it.
worn off. I don't trust how it's reacting to the skin. I don't know what you used. All of a sudden you use something I'm not normally used
Right.
to, and now your skin's all weird texture. You already look
Yeah.
like you've been sitting in a bath for 3 hours.
You went and bought lidocaine powder from the head shop and a tub of Vaseline.
Right, I'm
and
like,
whipped
your
it up.
skin it feels like leather, or it just feels weird, you know, or it's already chicken bumped and shit.
Right,
I'm like,
yeah.
I got to lay a stencil over chicken bumped skin, and like all that, just everything. Yeah,
So I have
Definitely
something that we
defer
need to
to
talk
our-
about.
I'm more worried about how soft that skin is, and
Definitely
like if
defer to
I have to do a big giant geometric piece, it's going to be all line work, and all of that skin is super soft, and I got all the blood vessels right at the surface and wide open and stuff. Like I got to be so much more careful, worrying about blowouts, worrying about all that.
Mhm.
I had a
I
problem
think
earlier
numbing
this
stuff
week.
really affects that.
I wonder if you guys have had this problem yet this year. So I meet my client at the shop yesterday. We go out, we have the smoke break like I always have with my clients when we get there to like, gel in and get on the same wavelength. It's like, all right, let's go up to the room and get settled in and get set up. So we go up and I'm starting to I hadn't opened anything, but I'm like pulling the bottles out of the cabinet and like just lining things up and like getting things ready to set up. And he's like, he rolls his sleeve up. He's like, it's not going to be a problem that I'm sunburnt, is it? I was like, yeah, we're going to have to reschedule.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't tattoo over it. And I was like, nah, like even if we did, it's going to hurt so bad, it won't be worth it. And it's going to heal so light because your
Mhm.
skin can't encapsulate the ink the way that we want to. 'Cause it's already too injured.
It's gonna hurt so much more.
Yeah, it's not even
So
like it hurts
much
twice
more.
as bad. It hurts like so much worse. And he was like, it does kind of hurt just you touching it. I was like, yeah, we're going to have to reschedule.
Yeah.
So we rescheduled. But have you guys run into clients coming in sunburnt yet this year? It always happens once or
Yeah,
twice.
always happens. Not yet.
Wear clothes before your appointment.
Pay attention that whole
Wear
week.
clothes.
Don't get scratches if you're at work. Be extra
Long
careful because
sleeves.
if I'm gonna do a sleeve on you and you come in with a big giant scratch that's on your arm, that's gonna affect your tattoo. Even if it seems like a small cat scratch and it's just like a scabbed cat scratch, thin line down
That's a
your
whole
arm.
area you got to work around and stay away from now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can work on your upper arm that
You
day.
know what we doing today? Something
Yeah, right.
No, we're going to do something else.
How pliable
Right,
is your plan?
Right. Hopefully we're not finishing that piece today because
you-
I'm not gonna I can't finish it like that. I'm gonna have
Yep.
to maybe I can work around it and do things so I can go back into it. If it's a
Right.
bio piece or something like that. But if I sit and run lines over all that, those lines are gonna be like, have that little open space or something, or be a little bit lighter over top of whatever that is.
Yep, this would have been the last session on a project too. So he was like, well, you could work on the lower part. It's like, you're going to have to come in anyways. Like, I'll just see you in a couple weeks.
Mhm.
Stay out of the sun. Wear clothes.
I'm already high. Go home.
Wear clothes. But I mean, before you have a tattoo, after you have a tattoo, when you're preparing to get a tattoo, if you don't even collect tattoos, take care of your skin, man. Like, don't allow yourself to get sunburnt and pink and like it's not worth it. Just take care of your skin. I don't know. Unless you want to be like leathery and have liver spots all over you when you're older
Mhm.
and like, you know what I mean?
Actually,
Like,
I had a really close friend out in melanoma from sun poisoning. So, like, ever since then, I've been
preach it.
making a conscious effort. Rest in peace, Ray. Long sleeve shirts, hoods. Like, if I'm outside, if I'm planning on being outside, I've got on long sleeves.
The time Durb almost killed us out in Phoenix on Camelback Mountain,
I
Ben
made
had
fun
an
of long
extra.
sleeves.
Well, he didn't make me. I asked around.
I proposed.
but he had one of the real sheer UV resistant shirts. So I wore that, and I don't think I had the hooded one, but it was nice that like my arms were covered. I only had to worry about my lower arms and my face. And still, like every time we stopped, if you scroll back on my Instagram, there's a picture of me with a can of Neutrogena on top of Camelback Mountain. I should be sponsored by them, man.
And layers.
But it's that easy now. Like I keep a can of sunblock in my car just because like you never know when you're going to be out and you realize like, oh man, it's almost noon and I'm still outside and there's no shade. Like those are the moments where like it's nice to have a hoodie on you and just suck it up and be hot. Like you're a ginger, you know.
Oh yeah, same thing. Got one in my car. Even on like trips to work or places that are longer than 10-minute drives. If it's nice out, the sun's out, and my arms either outside of the window or even inside in the sun, you can still feel it through the window. Like just grab this here and it looks like a little deodorant bottle. Just a couple swipes, boom. Now I feel better. I can hang my hand out the window and know it's not getting torched. So
I'm the guy that just burnt my face and both my arms on a motorcycle ride that I thought was going to be 10 minutes. It ended up being a couple hours, and came home my face glowing red. It was fun.
yeah.
You should definitely keep some sunblock in your.
For sure.
Ben's got 2 new motorcycles, Nathan.
2. How do you ride 2 motorcycles?
Bring friends. You work a gearbox, buddy? Let's go. But yeah, it roached my face. I had the hat line, you know, like it was a lot.
So sunblock, clients, collectors, tattooers, anybody who needs to hear
Take
it.
care of your skin before you come.
Yeah,
in.
even if you tan beautifully the week before your tattoo, just please be careful. Just don't let a sunblock sneak up.
You don't want us to turn you away because we can do that.
We've heard a lot about aftercare. Do you guys recommend any pre-care? Do you recommend anybody like?
We talk about
adding-
pre-care all the time.
Hit me
First
up.
of
Maybe I
all,
missed that.
love yourself. Treat your body like
if you love
actually
your skin,
love
you're
it.
putting lotion on.
Drink
Do you not
water
love yourself?
because that's what you do with a body that you
I'm
love.
just kidding.
Eat good
Sorry.
food because that's what you do. Like if you love your body, like sleep because that's what you do if you like love your body. Like
Snail
do
cream
all the things
on your face.
Like if you work out, continue working out. If you take vitamins, continue taking vitamins. If you don't take vitamins, maybe take a vitamin that week. It'll only help. It'll only help. I mean, imagine if something as simple as taking a 1 a day every day the week before your tattoo made your heal time go from 7 days to 5 days. Like all I have to do is drink water and take 1 vitamin that I should probably take anyways.
Take care of your immune system. Take
Yeah.
care of your immune system. You take care of your body, your immune system's going to love it. You eat good food, drink a lot of water, you take those vitamins.
Yeah, so these are all the things you should
system's
absolutely
gonna
do
love it.
the
Lymph
week
nodes
before
gonna
you
be
get
screaming.
tattooed. But like in a nutshell, we
You
should
should
do
probably
this all the
that For
time.
life.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
say that as I chug a Red Bull and I had a gas station hot dog for lunch.
So if you don't do it, tattoo can be your start.
Yeah. I mean,
that be your
if your
jumpstart.
tattoo collection is the thing that makes you actually take care of your body and be healthy, just so your skin looks like healthy and vibrant and full of life, well, so be it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. Like
I
you can drive down the road and you can tell the person who is like, oh, that person is healthy and takes care of themselves and loves themselves and treats their body like they love it. Their body is clearly their temple. And then you see the next person who's like,
You like meth.
they woke up like that. They woke up like that.
Oh, you're uncomfortable in the skin you're in.
Oh.
Like literally.
You
I see
don't
your
love
tooth.
yourself. I see you.
I see your
I
tooth.
see you not loving yourself over there.
Like physically uncomfortable. Not
no,
even
no,
mentally.
no.
Like crawling out of your bone.
What do you think is good advice before a tattoo session? Anything in addition to our treat your body like you actually like it and love it and want to live in it for the rest of your life?
No, I don't recommend anything outside of that.
It's a pretty heavy recommendation. It covers a lot, doesn't it?
Pretty much.
It's a pretty
Get some
encompassing
sleep,
recommendation.
Yeah, drink lots of water.
Do you think anyone should do anything else besides love themselves?
I
No?
think maybe we should just define what it means to love yourself every couple of weeks. I think it's important to
Good to
take this
reiterate.
moment and like
Everyone's idea of love's different.
That's true.
What's your love language, Jordan?
What is my love language?
Yeah. I wish I could remember all 4 of them.
On the cellular level, what's your love language?
There's a lot of levels there.
You can ignore it. We just talked about something.
Yeah,
else.
this is
It was
awkward.
really just a joke. I wasn't trying to.
On the cellular
Let's wait.
level.
On the cellular
On
level,
the cellular
my
level.
love language is
I don't know.
Tacos. I mean,
Creation.
you can just
I like creating.
laugh. And doesn't have to be serious.
Tacos.
My love language
Coffee.
is avocado.
My love language is carrots.
Carrots.
Carrots. I like carrots.
I like
So we
carrots
got
and
like 10
Spaghetti.
minutes or so left
Chicken
today.
parmesan was way
Is
my
there
heart.
anything that we should talk about that we haven't talked about yet? Don't everybody speak at once.
You guys doing any conventions this year?
I'm
Like
gonna
attending
go
them?
to Indianapolis with Derb,
Okay.
whatever days that is next month.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that, but I will be at Hell City for sure. I will later in the year. I'll be doing some for sure as more come.
I think we need to take the show to more conventions. It's going to be kind of an excuse to travel a little bit on the weekends as like things get rolling and picking up. I really want to get fluid with, we've done a few shows from Red Tree, but once we get a few new things, we'll be able to like pack up and take things on the go a lot easier. But I want to like start like jumping in and maybe like making appearances or guest visits or whatever you want to call it at different studios. So we can like, you know, even if it's only like maybe a 20-minute walkthrough, we could make, you know, compilations of what's going on in different private studios, different walk-in studios, different, you know, just because like, for instance, the scene I learned the scene in Columbus is totally different than the tattoo scene in Atlanta. Like both huge scenes, tons of good artists, but like bio isn't really a thing down there. It's really like you get a lot more like, what I see you got a lot of ink and I can tell it's good, but I don't know. I have so many questions. I have so many questions. So like, I think it'd be cool to like start traveling with the podcast and hitting as many conventions as possible, like maybe towards the fall-ish time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still just
That's
kind of like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Cincinnati was our first, like, let's go see what's up. And it was kind of a last minute decision. It was like, hey, this is going on this weekend. Do you want to go check it out?
Yeah.
And like, I was delightfully surprised with, you know, it was a Sunday, but it was busier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
good.
And
I
just,
think people are ready to get out. A little
Yeah.
bit.
It's nice to see people in a crowd.
Yep, the crowd was definitely like people, the little groups definitely stayed separate from one another. And like I said earlier today, everything was spread out over like literally double the square footage. So it seemed more like spacious and more empty, but really there were a lot of people there. It seemed like there weren't, but like by the end of the competitions, we like looked around and it was full as far as we could see.
There are a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, where'd you come from? Well, look at you.
All right.
So yeah, I'm looking forward. I probably am not going to be tattooing at a lot of conventions just because like I'd rather just go talk to people, run my mouth, visit, you
got
know,
any plans?
family reunion stuff.
As far as conventions,
Mhm.
no, not this year. I think we're going to finish off this year, no conventions, and then 2022 probably hit it pretty hard
Nice.
if everything pans out.
That pans out.
I see what you did there. I think we're gonna be good to go. I have after last weekend or weekend before last, I have high hopes. I think it's not ambitious to think that we're gonna be mostly back to normal. One thing they had, and I don't know if they do this at all Villain Art shows or if this is new or if this is something they've been doing, I can't remember, but they had these kiosks that you could go up and you could like buy your ticket right there and you didn't have to like talk to anybody or actually like exchange money, but you would pay cash or card right there at the kiosk. There were probably like 12 of them lined up in a row, so there was no line, and there were two little ladies checking your
nice.
little printed receipt and giving you a stamp.
Okay.
Nice.
It's
Looks
really
pretty sweet.
fun.
Yeah.
it's really fun watching these ladies try and figure out where to put the stamp.
That was a good time. They're like,
There's an
about
empty
up here.
spot.
Forehead.
Negatives somewhere.
But there were only just other than the more space, there really weren't a lot of changes to how things were run. You know, the facility, they asked, like when you walked in the convention center before you even got to where the tattoo convention was happening, they asked you to mask up, and they had like a little place where they'd offer you a mask if you didn't have one. But other than that, it was pretty chill. So
Nice.
I was delightfully surprised. I honestly expected it to be ghost town, and it wasn't. So not for any other reason than I just thought, you know,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if everybody was going to be ready to come out.
Coming back together.
But
I'm ready to be back at conventions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till fall, but
they're always my excuse to travel. And you sneak that vacation in,
Yeah.
a little bit of work,
Yeah.
a little bit of visit.
little workcation.
Get to see the sights along the way.
yeah, I think podcast is really gonna be my focus when we're doing conventions. I'll probably be tattooing at some of them, but I think for the most part, podcast focused, so we can just focus on that. I think that can take up the entire time talking to people, especially since we're already gonna be there with True Tubes.
Yeah, all kinds
And
of people
Derb.
too.
Hey, Lauren, are you still out there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Is there anything we need to add before we wrap up today?
No, not really so much. We do have some pretty cool upcoming events and that you guys can find in the community. Tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing Coach Zach Turner. I'm super excited. And make sure you tell Derb about this. I know my video is off now, but we'll be talking about nutrition and fitness for tattoo artists, and I'm sure he'd love to watch
Excellent.
that conversation.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys.
Sweet.
Well, it's been a rad ride
Thank you.
today.
Thank you, Nathan, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah,
joining
appreciate
us. Yeah, I know you
Definitely.
had to like carve out a little time, and we've been waiting a few weeks to get you in here, but it's really nice to have you.
Yeah, happy
Ben?
I did it.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
Helping
appreciate
keep
it.
the conversation flow when I get too big to ask poignant questions.
Ben,
Stan?
you had me rolling in laughter a few times today.
Say
Some
that
of the
again.
stuff that you've said.
Oh,
I
thanks.
know.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week.
Sweet.
Same
Yep.
time,
Y'all
same
know where
place.
to find us. tattoocollecting.com.
Give out your Instagram,
Oh yeah.
how we
The
find
handles.
you,
I
your
forgot.
web page, how give your things, man.
I keep it real simple. It's just my name, Nathan Marty. Nathan Marty is the Instagram handle, and nathanmarty.com is my website.
Bam.
What about that little shop project you got going on?
Hollow Earth. It's the handle is Hollow Earth Tattoo, and then the website is hollowearthtattoo.com.
Excellent.
Simple
Keep it simple.
and
Keep it
beautiful.
sweet.
Yep.
All right, guys. See you next week.